I'm Rock McCoval, and I'm going to tell you today the greatest news that you ever hear. The greatest news that you ever hear. When I mean great, I mean the most outstanding, astonishing news that people don't say, a lot of people don't know. But I'm here to prove to you today that Black America was great and greater under the Jim Crow laws. Now, last year, I remember this conversation being a thing. I remember people talking about, hey, who says that? Hold on, what are you talking about? Byron Donalds mentioned that during the Jim Crow laws, black families were together and they were married and they were better. But he didn't say that the time was better for black Americans. I'm here to say it though. During Jim Crow, life was better for black Americans. Yes, it was better. It was much better. It was way better, and I'm going to prove it to you. But before I prove it to you, I want you to hit the like button. Okay, I want you to hit the subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed to the House of War, because I'm here to prove to you today that Black America was better under the Jim Crow laws. Way better. It's not even close. Okay, it's not even close. Would I prefer to live under the Jim Crow laws? 100%. Not really, nah, not me. Not me. Because I'm not a segregationist. Right? You see, before then, back in those days, segregation was real. Segregation was the thing. Segregation was put into law. Black Americans had to separate themselves from others in a bunch of places, in a bunch of states, especially in the Deep South. And I'm telling you, and I'm proving to you today why that was better for the Black Americans and why they thrived under it. People like to point out the darkness of Jim Crow, but they never point out the light. But I'm here to point out the light. Let's start it off. Okay? You're watching the House of War. Look, I'm ready to get after it, man. I want all of the smoke. I want all of the smoke. I want all of it because at the end of the day, we got to tell the truth. Okay? We got to say what actually happened. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about what actually happened because nobody ever gets down to the nitty gritty of what actually happens under this. Okay. But we're going to get into it. So we're talking about when Black America was great, right? And people always like to mention when Black America was thriving, when Black America was down. And during segregation or desegregation, Black America was just in a hole. But I'm here to prove to you today that Black America was actually way better when we were in this so-called hole, when racism was so terrible. Because I'm here to prove that we went from slavery to self-reliance. You see, because slavery was a bad thing. Yes, 100%. Slavery was terrible. Slavery was a bad thing that we went through. But we were able to bounce back away from slavery. We was able to bounce out of slavery and become a thriving nation, become a thriving culture. Yes, the Black Americans. And the Black Americans went from slavery to owning oil wells, owning our own businesses. And what segregation did was it put Black Americans in certain groups, in certain regions of the world where they put them in a position to where they had to thrive on their own. You see, Black Americans had to thrive on their own. They had to do it solo dolo. They had to build on their own. No help, no handouts. Oh, the Black Americans, they didn't give us loans. They didn't give us grants. They wasn't helping us out. And that's what made us strong. That made us powerful. That made us the strongest, right? Right? When you're not getting help, when nobody's holding your hand, you have to figure out how to get it on your own. And specifically, I'm talking about Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm talking about Greenwood. Greenwood was popping. Greenwood was the city. Greenwood kept everything kosher. Greenwood was clean. The stories was Christian. But before we get to Greenwood, we're going to talk about when slavery ended in 1865. You see, black men and women and children walked off the plantations with no money. Black people walked off the plantations with no land, No government programs, just their hands, their faith, and their order. You see, they have been denied reading, writing, property ownership, right? But they weren't spiritually bankrupt. You see, when you walked off the plantation, these were people that that just had Bibles in their hands. These people had families and generations that read the Bible, so they weren't spiritually bankrupt. They had carried with them the most powerful thing. They had a belief in God and a will to survive. So in the Deep South, many families, by clearing swamp lands with axes and plows, they started building homes out of timber. You get them their own sections, right? Now they're organizing small farms. Mutual aid societies begin to form. And the Grand United Order of Odd Fellows, Prince Hall Masons, people was coming together. People was grabbing everything. There was support everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It was families helping each other. Families helping families buy land. This wasn't charity, it was infrastructure. Churches was planted everywhere. In fact, many of the old churches, right, the black towns began with nothing but a church and one-room schoolhouses. The African Methodist Church, the National Baptist Convention, and the Church of God in Christ became economic and educational powerhouses. So by 1900, the AME Church owned and operated by over 100 schools, 100 schools. By 1910, over 80% of black Americans could read and write. A massive increase from slavery just 2 generations later. Then you have towns like Mount Bayou in Mississippi, founded by a slave, a former slave, Jefferson Davis. Nicodemus, Kansas, built by formerly enslaved men and women seeking land and dignity. Okay, you got Boley, Oklahoma, a town with black sheriffs, banks, and businesses. It proved that not only could black Americans survive, but they can govern themselves, educate their children, and created their own economies, their own food, their own shelter. Their families were intact, their children were obedient, their neighborhoods were clean, and their faith was real. From ashes of bondage, they built a blueprint for dignity, not with just political slogans, but with marriage, morals, and mission. You see, black Americans were different. They were a lot more polished spiritually, and they did it all before a single rights bill was even passed. You see, the black Americans were strong because they had to be strong. These are people that just left slavery, right? And they turned from slavery into some very, very powerful people off hard work. Hard work. That's what got them there. I'll read some comments. How's it going tonight, my brother in Christ? Boo Boo Boss, what's going on, brother? Izzy, what's up, man? Remix, let's get it. Bibles in their hand. God the Most High. Yes, he is. So many went to fight for the Union. Yes, they did. I got really familiar with the Most High yesterday. I feel you, brother. Now let's go. Let's continue. Of all the examples of black excellence, right? During segregation, we're going to talk about Black Wall Street. Everybody talks about Black Wall Street, right? We always talk about Black Wall Street being this thriving city, being this thriving neighborhood, this thriving town that had a bunch of great businesses, but nobody ever speaks about how after it was burned down, it was rebuilt again. You see, Tulsa, Oklahoma's Greenwood district began in the early 1900s. The early 1900s with a few people, right? And a few businesses. You got people like J.B. Stratford, Dr. A.C. Jackson. J.B.'s a lawyer, okay? Dr. A.C. Jackson was a black surgeon. John and Lula Williams, they opened up a theater, okay? Emma Gurley, she was the wife of Ottawa Gurley. They had boarding houses who helped black travelers and migrants, right? And they didn't just build businesses, they built the world. They didn't rely on outsiders. So by 1921, Greenwood had 600 businesses, 21 churches, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, a private airstrip, a hospital, 2 newspapers, so they had their own media. They had their own public schools staffed by black teachers and principals. They had doctors, lawyers, tailors, barbers, pharmacists, architects, pilots. They had it all. And guess what they had? They had oil. They owned oil. Black landowners including descendants of freedmen, from the Creek and Seminole Nation. So these is people that was native from Native American lands and and people that came from slavery. This is not a this isn't fake. This was a functional economy. Okay, a moral economy. These people were Christians. There was no twerking. There was no trauma bonding. Black men didn't fight each other. Nobody was begging in the streets for handouts. That they built their nation with order, structure, just excellence. The men wore suits. Okay, people had structure. It was just excellence in the belt. It was just excellence everywhere. The Black Americans, it was just excellent. Okay, Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. It wasn't just built because it was built because of their character. It wasn't just wealthy. They was building because of their character. You see, Black Wall Street had great character. It was a bunch of people with good character. And what made it possible, right? What made it possible? What do a lot of people always ask for nowadays? People always ask for handouts. Well, the black man couldn't get a loan. We can't get nothing because they won't give us loans. Brother, Black Wall Street was built off of somebody's back. There was no inclusion. There was no access. There was no help. There wasn't any help. And guess what that did? It forced the Black America to turn inwardly and rely on God. 100%. 100%. All they could do was rely on themselves. What does that do to a nation? What does that do to a community? What does that do to a man? What does that do to that man? It puts that man in a position to where he got to fend for himself. He has to eat for himself. He got to make his own kill. Right? We got to sit on truth, because Greenwood was more than a place. It was a paradigm, right? It was a proof that Black Americans, under the harshest conditions, could thrive with the restrictions of segregation, because something that was building like that under segregation and was flourishing, you wouldn't think it was possible, right? The way people talk about how segregation kept the black man down. Look, the people that had money, they wasn't complaining. They wasn't complaining about freedom. They wasn't crying about, oh, we don't have enough. The Black Americans had it all. You feel me? The ones that was eating, the ones that put in the work, they ate. You see, because Greenwood had its own moral code, right? It had its own internal government. It had its own economy, its own education system, and most importantly, it had its own standard. Every child in Greenwood knew their neighbor. Everybody was neighbors. Everybody were friends. Everyone loved each other. Everybody knew their pastor. You feel me? Everybody knew their father. So when I say that the Black Americans is better than under Jim Crow, I say that they're better then than they are now. And it's not close. Sunday morning, everyone went to church. Every church was full. Monday through Friday, every student was in uniform at school. Every man knew he had a job to do. This was Black America operating as a nation within a nation. Not out of bitterness, not out of isolation, but out of a responsibility to obey the Lord. This was nothing but obedience to God. This is what this was. Even the architectures told the story, from the Stratford Hotel to the Gurley Building, right? These structures were designed with elegance and intention. These weren't slums, they were statements. Greenwood proved to people that you can come from slavery and build and grow. And that separation can breed strength. You thought segregation kept the black man down. The black people thrived because they were separated and isolated into their own zones with no help, nobody assisting them. So and guess what that done? This is what it does to the spirit, right? It helps the spirit, because the ancestors had this. They had respectful roles when they were in slavery. They had community accountability. Okay, they had private ownership. And you talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood, Black Wall Street. They recycled, right? They married each other. They had biblical literacy. No social media, no protest, no victimhood. Nobody was victims. Everyone lived responsibly. But this is what, look, you got to study Greenwood. You got to study Tulsa, Oklahoma, because it wasn't just a strategy. There was a template. Every major city thrived, from Richmond's Jackson Ward, right, to Chicago's Bronzeville, to Atlanta, Georgia. Where there was segregation, there was structure. Where there was restriction, ladies and gentlemen, there was resilience. Where there was exclusion, there was excellence. People thrived under these conditions. Why? Because you put them in a position to where they had to work. Okay, it's just like what people say about the tariffs today. Oh, everybody calls the current administration bad for the tariffs that they putting through right now. But what those tariffs are gonna do, it's gonna push the man. It's gonna push the man to work even harder than he has to now. Because what we have to do is become independent, and this is what's going on. The Black Americans back then, under Jim Crow, had to work on their own with no handouts. And what did it do for them? It gave them Black Wall Street. Am I painting a picture here? Let me read some comments. What's up, bro? How was your day? Oh, man, my day was fine, man. My day was excellent. G, bro, good evening, Warhouse. What's going on, brother? God bless you, brother. Wild Horse, God bless you. What happened to Black Wall Street? I'm going to get to that. Is this the Black Wall Street a place I can visit? No, this is not currently a place anymore. Crazy how so many people never heard of this. Man, a lot of people never heard of this. But and a lot of people have heard of it, but they have the wrong idea about it because they think about this big massacre that happened during that idolatry of his race and politics and all religion. This guy is no spirit. Pray for this confused young guy that God may be free. He cannot be referring to me. That Game Freak, respect, man, respect you too, Game Freak. Tech support, possibly one of the dumbest statements to ever come out of someone's mouth. He's not talking about me, guys. I'm letting you know that now. Because if you're saying that the Black Americans that was independent and that could thrive on their own, that didn't need help, that didn't require handouts, that couldn't even get access to handouts, that had to build on their own and end up building their own communities on their own, if you're saying that's stupid, brother, I'm going to pray for you because something wrong up here. Having your kids sold off at the drop of a hate. I don't know what he's talking about. Why call anything Titus? Dustin, what's going on, brother? What happened to Black Wall Street? I'm about to get to that. You mean it no longer exists? Nah, now the area exists, but you don't know why it doesn't exist anymore. And tech support, you can't be talking about me. You're silly if you think what I'm saying is false. Everything I'm saying right now, it only makes sense to people that have sense. So if it doesn't make sense to you, you need to tap in a little bit more. It's all about community, regardless of color. Yes, it is, boss. Can we have a consensual squabble? I don't fight. I'm a Christian. I'm a lover, brother, not a fighter. Communities live together. They thrive together. 100%, Felicia. Black people being better off under Jim Crow is a dumb statement. No, I'm not saying black people are better off under Jim Crow. I'm saying black people were better under Jim Crow. Were way better, were stronger, were more together. The numbers say so themselves. I'm not making this up. You don't understand Black America. I understand Black America. I know the problems Black America has. I know young Black American women abort their child more than everybody else. I know young Black America kill themselves, right? I know we don't get married as much as everyone else. And it's not about comparison. It's about rape and how out of 100 people, how many of us get married? That number is dipped. I know how many of us has kids that's labeled autistic now. I care about the people. I care, especially the Black Americans. I'm in the party. So of course I'm going to pay attention to it. All I'm doing is telling you our core issues. People back under the Jim Crow era didn't have these issues. And those are our core issues. But you don't know that because something's wrong with you up here. But I'm going to break it down to you what actually happened. Because for some odd reason, you're confused. Let's get it. Keep up the good work, man. Stay with the facts. Don't ever give in to the propaganda. Matt Byer, I will never give in. I will never give in to the propaganda. I'm smarter than that, because, like I said, I understand the issues that we face today. And if you take a break, if you love the Lord and you confessed already that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, please hit the like button for me. Please. All my Christians in the party. If you love God, hit the like button for me. If you appreciate goodness and righteousness, hit the like button for me. All right. We're going to confront the tragedy, right? Let's talk about what happened. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about what happened. Because it was a destruction of buildings. What really ended Black Wall Street was not the massacre itself, people. People think that that Black Wall Street ended when the massacre happened. It's not true. In 1921, I'm going to break it down. In 1921, a white mob destroyed 35 blocks of Black prosperity. Over 1,200 homes were burned. Businesses were looted. Churches was desecrated. Men and women were shot in cold blood, destroyed. I'm talking about a full-blown massacre. But what you won't hear is that Greenwood was rebuilt. By 1925, the businesses were back. The communities was thriving again. The people didn't ask for reparations. You think people in Greenwood was asking for reparations? These people wasn't asking for reparations. You know why they weren't asking for reparations? Because they built it on their own. You see, an independent man, a strong man, you can take everything away from a person that built it themselves. But guess what? They know the method. They know how to do it. They got the blueprint. You can't take something away from me that I've built. You can steal it, you can take it away, you can destroy it. But if I know how to fish, I'm always gonna eat. Okay? By 1925, the businesses were back. People, the community was thriving again. The people didn't ask for reparations. They didn't file lawsuits. Guess what they did? They picked up bricks. At Black Wall Street, Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, they picked the bricks up after it got destroyed. They relied on each other and got to work. They didn't cry like y'all are. You crying. Oh, man, they doing this to us. They didn't do that, man. They wasn't suckers. Them was men back in the day. Those were real men. But the next destruction wouldn't come from the bombs. I'm going to tell you what the next destruction was. Because over time, the policies is the ones that they pretended to help. So in the 1950s and the 60s, urban renewal programs swept across the country. And guess what they called? They called it progress. But what they really did was bulldoze the entire neighborhoods. In Tulsa, the new expressway cut straight through Greenwood. Banks stopped giving loans to Black business owners, right? Zoning laws changed and the city contracts dried up. And just like that, the very system that was rebuilt ourselves was stripped away. So this time they didn't need fire to be destroyed. They was destroyed through policy. That policy started and then they started falling, but they were still strong. They still had it. They used policies. They used everything. The government that we thought was there to protect us, and I'm talking about on the state level, right? They were getting to Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were getting to Tulsa, but guess what? That wasn't what was the final blow. What was the final blow? What destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma? Everybody got all this say so. Everybody got all of these answers, but I'm gonna tell you what destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma. Desegregation destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma. Desegregation, not segregation. So when the civil rights movement is walking in the streets, marching and walking in the streets, right? Fighting for equality. You see, because these communities, they had to buy Black. They had to support themselves. All of the time, they had to. But what happens when you're not focused on yourself anymore, you're not focused on your own neighborhood, and then you letting other people from the outside come in? You see, Black America, right? While they were segregated, had to rely on themselves and they were building. You see, the black dollar is strong. Ask Nike. You feel me? Ask the TV stations. Ask everything that black people invest to. The black dollar is strong. Black people make a lot of money. Black people know how to touch a bag. It's facts. They do. We do. But once integration became law, the next generation of black Americans were encouraged to leave the communities and seek opportunity elsewhere. Black schools, black teachers, black businesses, black pastors. The message was this, because Martin Luther King instilled this message in y'all. If it's white, it's right. And we bought it. Civil rights movement taught y'all that the white people ice was colder and you fell for it. Our ancestors fell for it. They did. So instead of strengthening what we had, we scattered. Oh, let me go over here and touch this white stuff. Oh, they letting us in the white neighborhoods now. Oh, we about to, oh, okay. And what does that do to the mind of the black child? Right? You growing up seeing this. You thought the dentist that you were going to, you thought this black dentist that you were going to, you thought he was a good dentist. You thought this was a good doctor. You thought these were good teachers. You thought these were good lawyers. And then integration comes in. They desegregate. And now you have this idea that the white people, oh, they stuff better than ours. Well, let me go over there. This was all influenced by desegregation. So instead of sending our dollars to the barbershop down the block, we went to the chains at the mall. And that's when Black Wall Street lost its power. Oh, they bombed Black Wall Street. They tore it down. Brother, sister, I'm here to tell you now, Black Wall Street didn't fall until the 60s. The bombing happened in the 20s. They still were a thriving community and still thriving businesses up into the 60s. Something they don't tell you guys. They don't say that. They don't break this down. They stop at the bombings. They stop at the massacre. It was a massacre. The city didn't fall. Guess why it didn't fall? Because they built it. They knew how to rebuild it. They built it. But when they took their skills elsewhere is when it fell. This is what happened to Black Wall Street. This is what happened to Black America. Integration is what happened to Black America. Chinatown gets it. Chinatown has it. Chinatown has it. I'm from Cleveland. We have a Chinatown. Chinatown has blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks of businesses. Blocks of their own businesses. They have their own. They stay to themselves. They are segregated into their own population. Look at New York, same thing. They have their own tight-knit communities, and it's thriving, it's building. Black Americans had that, but Black Americans fell for the okie doke. Black Americans fell for the white people. Ice is colder. This is what happened to Black America. So when you say that, what happened to it? They bombed us. They can't let us have anything. We can't have nothing. They didn't bomb nothing. We gave it up. Guys, we gave it up. Nobody else. And Tulsa wasn't an isolated case. Greenwood wasn't isolated at all. Greenwood just became the blueprint that was used across America. Wherever black people built power, wherever black people had power rooted in faith, order, and self-reliance, intervention came. You see, because the outside these outside entities, these people that seen these thriving black cities and these thriving black neighborhoods and towns, they seen power in them. Let's go over there. They eating over there. They come in. Black people are already influenced to leave. They leave, come out. Now it's destroyed. Take Durham, North Carolina's Haiti district. It was home to North Carolina's Mutual Life Insurance Company, once the largest black-owned insurer in the world. Mechanics and farmers banks gave mortgages to black families and loans to new black businesses. Haiti had grocery stores, doctor's offices, schools, churches, and pharmacies. But in the 1960s, it was destroyed by the urban renewal because y'all fell for it. They built a freeway right through the heart of it. Over 4,000 residents that were displaced because let's go to the Watts, man. Oz wants to go where they at because they ice is colder than ours. And the community was never restored. This is what happened, guys. This was not something that it's a lie. Everything that you were taught, like just take it out your head. Just take it out your head. Black America didn't get bombed. These cities weren't destroyed. Black America had, right? And the only place they tell you about is Greenwood, because Greenwood was popping the most. Tulsa, Black Wall Street was popping the most. But we lost it because we gave it up. It wasn't because it was bombed. Paradise. It was paradise. Then you had jazz clubs, black newspapers, tailors, entrepreneurs. It was black excellence rooted in the church, the communities, the neighborhoods. It was dignity. But once again, the urban renewal and freeway construction came, and the city labeled it as slum clearance. They cleared it all up, cleared it of black independence. Where black people thrived at, they gave access to these other entities to put freeways right through where they was popping at, and it chewed the city up. You talking about the Fillmore District in San Francisco, Bronzeville in Chicago, Auburn Avenue in Atlanta. Each one of them, a black economy, a thriving black economy, was destroyed by highways, was destroyed by gentrification, was destroyed by integration. Integration. I'm not against integration. I believe we're all Americans, and I believe we're all equal, and we all should definitely not be placed in certain areas based on where we come from. But that time, that did something to a certain demographic, because these were people that just left the plantation not too long ago. So they were different. They were wired different. They were built different. They didn't burn down these black thriving towns. They regulated it into death. You see, these blacks weren't in seats, right? So they weren't causing a lot of shots. They zoned it out, they priced it out, and they subsidized it and taxed it like it's bad. The churches became food pantries. Then the fathers became felons. Then the children became statistics. I just did an episode yesterday talking about how the 60s is the era where everything failed for him. Failed for the black man. Neighborhoods became crime zones because they took the Bibles out of the schools. These children stopped following the Lord. When you stop following God, anything could fail. I could hit you right where it hurt. I could hit you where it hurt. We were better under segregation, not because the laws were righteous, but because we were forced to become righteous. We was forced to become righteous. We couldn't afford chaos. We chose order. We didn't rely on the state. We relied on scripture. And the proof is in one of these cities. The moment we integrated, we stopped insulating. The moment we chased access, right, we lost ownership. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact. We didn't rise because of civil rights, people. We didn't. We rose because of God-given responsibilities. Until we return to that, we'll keep losing ground. Let's get it. Now, what y'all in here talking about, man? Let's go. I want all this smoke, man. This is the house of war. Who in here talking reckless? This black guy needs to be deported. You sound crazy. Bradley Tompkins. I mean, he's totally right. People are afraid to say this because it's the truth. It really is the truth. No cap. You feel me? He's not totally right. He's saying some facts. Gregory Carter. I'm totally right. I'm 100% right. I know what's going on. This is what happened. Point out the lie. Do you listen to Tupac? I do not listen to Tupac. All my black kinfolks and friends doing pretty good right now. All your black kinfolks and friends. But did you know the statistics of how many women abort their children in the black communities? How the black people who only make up 13% of the population are committing 50% of the violent crimes. What are you talking about? All my black kinfolks and friends are doing good right now. Black men kill each other more than, man, black men commit more murders than anybody. And it's not even close. What are you talking about? Where do you live? What are you saying? Are you paying attention? Look at these people. Look at the kids. Look at our women. Look at how our men behave. Look at the lack of two-parent households. Stop it. Back then when they were segregated, they didn't have to go through this. You feel me? Am I tripping? My shoes tied. I know I ain't tripping. Let's go. Debo Brown. He needs to go back to his country of origin so his eyes can open for real. He ain't talking about me. I'm at exactly where I need to be. You feel me? In the great United States of America. In the great United States of America, where my family has been for hundreds of years. Man, look, y'all gotta tap in, man. This is common sense. It's common sense, bro. It's common sense. It's common sense. I'm gonna say it again. This is common sense. That's two different arguments. The guilt of the freeway and the people were intentionally displaced. No, it isn't. That's not two different arguments. Segregation sucks, but the idea that the black American was held down by government assistance. 100% agree. We are our own demise. We destroyed ourselves. You are not from here. You got to go. He ain't talking about me. Why are American blacks more athletic than everyone else in the world? What are you talking about? You just said they built highways over these cities. I did say they built highways over these cities. 100%. They did build highways over these cities. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Even in small cities like my hometown, God bless America and our president, Donald J. Trump. Enough is enough. America first. Saw the title and got my burgers ready. What up, Skittle? These are just American economies, big dog. My boy, do not speak on Chicago. Bronzeville cannot be gentrified. Do not speak on Chicago. Brother. I can destroy Chicago right now. Right now, I can destroy Chicago. I'll rip Chicago apart. Not gonna lie, I think this can't be a clown show. It can't be. All I'm doing is on here speaking the facts. All I'm doing is telling you guys what happened to the black Americans and why black Americans failed. Why y'all thought the civil rights movement was giving the black Americans some form of freedoms or some privileges that they didn't have. They actually lost everything that they was asking for. They thought they was getting something, but they lost what they was trying to get. They was asking for freedom and they lost freedom. They had freedom. They were free and they gave their freedoms away. Let's go. Black people never stop following God. Stop it. Tech support. What are you, bro? Where is you from? Hop off the live, bro. You sound like a child. You don't know squat. You don't know nothing you talking about. Just shut up, bro. Just shut up. You don't know nothing you talking about. Feel me? Black Democrats need to come out of the Democratic plantation. Boy, they in it real deep. They in it real deep. And it's all because of their hatred of the past. They hate their situations. They still on the plantation. Bad. Should black people be under chains again? Yeah, you can make a good argument that black people need to be put back under some form of, they need to cut some of the freedoms away, 100%. When you give a man too much freedom, he'll bring himself to chaos if he's not following the Lord. This is why prison is such a good thing for men when they rehabilitate them correctly. Because if you put a man that's out of control, that's chaotic, in chains, and you put him in prison, they always come back a better man, 100%. So yeah, black people do need some form of change because they're too reckless. Too reckless. Very reckless. This not me. This not me. Self-hate. Y'all niggas are fried. Fried. I'm not lying. Everybody know this. Everybody knows that the black Americans are fried, and we weren't always like this. I'm pointing out the obvious because the black Americans were great back in the day. There wasn't this nonsense that we doing now. We didn't have to go through this back in the day when America was great. You feel me? Opinion on the 13th Amendment and mass incarceration. I don't believe I don't believe in mass incarceration. I believe you should stop committing crimes. You would be in prison. I've never had to worry about going to prison. Why? Because I'm not a criminal. All talking smack about you, but you've obviously done your research. Come on, man. Everybody just chit-chatting. I'm not worried about what, you know what I'm saying? Hey, boss, I can't listen to none of these people because they're not spitting, they're not talking about anything. They just mad. They're sick. All right. Let's go. Let me scroll down because I'm all the way at the top. I'm all the way at the top. Dang. Stop talking down on your own people. Y'all not my people. My people are Christians. My people are good people. My people are righteous people, no matter what color you are. So don't call anybody my people because they look similar to me. 100% not. Don't do that. I don't belong to anybody by race. There is no such thing as race. So I don't have a people. My people are the people that have a similar heart as me, that stand on the same values as me. Not because we both of African descent. So no, don't say, my people, you're talking down on your people. No, I'm telling you the real. And that these descendants of slaves have been bamboozled, led astray, and run amok, and now they sagging their pants and shooting each other, and they beating their women, and they women aborting the children. What are you talking about? Goofy. When were black men great? During this time I'm talking about now, during segregation. Why they had to fend for themselves, when they had to grind, that's when. And it's not a secret. That's why I stopped dating black guys. No shade. I've always had some drama and fights. This is who the black Americans have become. They become evil, violent people at a large rate, and not all, but most of them. Most of them are like this. This brother likes segregated America. No, I like the behavior and the spirit under the black people that was under segregation. 100%. 100%. I'm one of many. I'm one of many because I tell the truth. Most people are liars. I'm a truther. I'm expecting most people. It's 192 people in here. I'm expecting most people in here at like 80% to disagree with me. Why? Because most people are liars. Most people don't like honesty. Most people don't like the truth. He wants to be white so bad. Brother, lost. Y'all are lost. Foolishness. It's foolishness. Silver mug, okay, but what if the cops stopped you more and eyed you more because of your skin color? That's not real. Don't let people lie to you. That's not a thing. Cops don't just stop you because you're black. Dude, cops will stop you if you look and behaving like somebody that's obviously up to something. The only issue is black people always committing crimes. So now I gotta wear this costume that look like a criminal now. And unless I got a suit on and look presentable, it's gonna look like I'm up to something because it's always a black man that don't look presentable that's up to something. It's at a high clip. That's not a secret. Everybody knows this. Y'all just playing crazy. Why do you like Trump? I do not like Trump. Is there white privilege in America? No, there isn't white privilege in America. But guess what? If there is white privilege, they earned it. They not out here shooting and killing each other. Come on. Not like these niggas. What is y'all talking about? Black people don't claim you anyway. Y'all, it's fraud. Black people don't claim you anyway. Man, shut up, man. Y'all lame, dumb. Nobody called me a liar yet. Can anybody point out a lie? You can't. I'm not lying. You can call me Coon, Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus. You can call me Sambo, but you cannot call me a liar. You can't call me a liar. Young black men wear ski masks on the regular. What are we talking about? These niggas walking around with a mask on their face now. Am I tripping? These niggas is walking around with masks. Ski masks covered up. And it's not because they criminals. It's a fashion statement to look like a thug. Do y'all is that not odd to you guys? Is that not strange? That's strange. That's weird. Why are the women naked, half naked outside, and why do the men sag their pants and show their underwear, put tattoos on their face, and put on masks? That's strange. If that was your child, what would you say? What would you think if that was your children? You see, because I look at every man how I view myself. I have empathy. I put myself in other people's shoes all the time, man or woman. And I evaluate. I look and see what's going on with them. Why is he walking out here with a mask on? In the middle of the street, it's hot as hell outside. I'm at a prime lineup the other day in a regular neighborhood, and this guy had a young black man, had to be 16 years old, walking down the street with a hoodie on, with a freaking ski mask on, and 85-degree weather. That's not odd to y'all? But black people don't claim you anyway. You niggas are sick. Jillian Sesternino, much respect to you. Praise Jesus, amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. He's not my people. He's one of those black people. Yeah, I'm a black person. I'm not a nigga. Put it like that. How about that? Do you think this opportunity to provide support, to educate for jobs to black population is something one side is better at? To give blacks opportunity? Yes, there's black Americans, for the most part, are not the best at giving black Americans opportunity, if that's what you're asking. Dominique Roy, love the hat. Appreciate you, Dominique. We all the same. It's like high school in different groups. G bro, amen, brother. Let's go. Man, come on, man. Y'all gotta lock in, brother. I still have yet to see the liar thing. Can anybody point out anything I've lied about? Yet. Am I lying about anything I'm saying? That's what I want to be called out on. It's the house of war. This the war for truth. This the slogan. The slogan is the war for truth. Call me a liar. This is what I want to discuss. I want to discuss if I'm lying or not. If there are lies coming out of his mouth. It isn't. This is a good black man. Appreciate you, brother. I done slipped and slid all the way to the bottom. Ninja said white people don't kill white people. They don't. Not like blacks. You can't even look at it. These men so sensitive. I was gonna say young black men. It ain't even young black men anymore. It used to be young black men. These older dudes doing it too. Raised by their mamas, suckers. Raised by their mamas, weak. Dad's weak too. Weak fathers create weak men too. You can have a present father if he was raised by his mama. His weakness can still hit his son. 100%. 100%. But y'all suckers and y'all afraid. Y'all scary. And then you hate yourself. So when you see yourself, it's beef. When you see a black man, because when you walk through the hood with a suit on, ain't nobody bothering you. But if you walk through the hood and you dress like the other thugs that's in the hood, they coming after you. You know how I know that? Because I was one of them. We in the hood, if we seen you on the block. If you was walking down the street and you was our age and you looked like us, we was jumping your ass every time. We beat a dude up because he was gay once. I'm talking about this dude walking out. We just assumed he was gay. He was walking with two girls. It's like 12 of us. We see a dude walking down the street, little black kid. He's our age. He about 15 years old. We see him walking with two girls. We see him switching. We hear his voice. Bruh, you gay? No, he like, no, I'm not gay. No, I'm not gay. Well, step out in the street. We beat his ass. We jumped him. This is the behaviors that we've created. This is what happens this is what happened when we fail. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. I'm standing on business. I'm not making this up. I know what's going on. I'm not an idiot. I'm not dumb. I'm not stupid. I'm not confused. I'm not a liar either. What are you talking about? Larry and G, he's kind of telling the truth. I am telling the truth. It's just weird that you seeing a black man say it. If I was white, you wouldn't go for it. Oh, he's racist. Oh, he's racist. Oh, he's a bigot. Stop it. You can't call me a bigot. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you what your father should have told your ass. You hear me? I'm telling you what your daddy should have told you if he was present and he stood on the truth. You hear me? Y'all are lying to yourselves if you claiming that black people are these decent folks. Hell no. Not even close. Not in America. Not even close. No, we don't claim you. You think I want you crazy niggas claiming me? Y'all, I don't want you claiming me. I want Christians, good people claiming me. I want people that know I'm telling the truth claiming me. I don't care what color you are. I want real black people claiming me. Not you crazy, psychopathic, self-denying, self-hating, woman-beating, criminal ass niggas. I don't want y'all claiming me. Because y'all can't even admit that we were better before. Y'all can't even admit that when we're married, we're a better community. When we are living in two-parent households, not beating on our women, taking care of our daughters, making sure our kids not having sex out of wedlock, when we're like that, it's a problem. When we're standing on biblical principles, I don't like that. I don't want to do that because y'all living in y'all flesh too hard. It's baboon energy. You feel me? It's jungle bunny energy. This is what y'all on. But y'all worry and y'all only reason y'all upset is because you prioritize your feelings over the objective truth. You see, what I'm doing is telling you the objective truth. I'm telling you the truth. You're mad and you're prioritizing your feelings before you try to get to the bottom of what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is the truth, though. I'm standing on the truth, but since you're hurt about it, you don't like me at all. We don't claim you because you hurt my feelings. And I, as a nigga, grow up, lock in. A bunch of people raised by their mamas. No heart, no strength, no resistance, no manhood, straight victims. What are you talking about? I'm telling you, this is the problem. This is what happened. There's 200 people in here, and only 4 people out of the 200 is telling me I'm telling the truth. Should tell you something. It should tell you something. He is a definite hater of his own race. I don't belong to a race. I'm mixed. I'm clearly mixed. That's another thing. Y'all lie to your own eyes. Do I look like a full-blown African? Do I look like a full-blown African? 100% not. I'm mixed. I have white ancestry, but I can't claim it because once you put a little drop of black in it, it's 100% black. Like, I'm going to denounce my great-grandfather who was a white man because it's a little bit of black. As long as you put a drop of black in it, it's 100% nigga. Come on, man. You niggas are retarded, bro. It's like it's mental retardation at this point. It's mental retardation. But I want to be white. Man, you niggas are crazy. You're lying to yourselves. You're lying to yourselves. You're lying to yourselves. La Lucy, my dog on fire. You hear me? I ain't about to be on here lying. Dustin, algorithm is working because it's reaching ears that wish to not hear it. Keep it up. 100% Dustin. Appreciate you, Dustin. I love you, Dustin. I appreciate you, brother. You're lying. Point out a lie. Point out a lie. Point it out. Jesus is king. Jesus is king. Jesus is king. I'm telling you the truth. I'm standing on biblical principles. Something most of y'all reject. No one is perfect. That's cool. Nobody is perfect. I'm not close to perfect. I'm 99% flawed. But my 1% is good enough for me. Why? Because Jesus died for my sins. Most violent crimes are interracial, meaning they are committed by someone of the same race as the victim. This is largely due to proximity of and social structure, not race and tech support. With all due respect, brother, just hush. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't. Man, you don't. Hi, Cartoon Man. Why you say things like you real? Whatever. The Adventures of Papa Stick. I claim you, brother. That's family right there. What's up, Papa Stick? Chris Rock has a legendary bit about this exact issue. Yes, he does. It's a difference, bruh. It's a difference. Nothing can overcome the love of Jesus. LPK, 100%. Nothing can overcome the love of Jesus. Jesus is the reason why I can stand on here and tell y'all the truth. But I've been, you know what I'm saying? And I was doing this prior to me being a Christian. I stood on stage at a festival in front of hundreds of black people because they were marching or they were rioting and for Freddie Gray or something. I had to be, this was 10 years ago. I'm standing on the stage and I told them, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy because I said, why are we rioting and destroying stuff like that's going to create some kind of solutions or anything? We look like monkeys over there. And everybody gasped. Why am I always 10 steps ahead of the common black man in America? Why is it like this? My rhetoric should not be rare. Every man should be saying what I'm saying. Not every man should be saying, because what I'm saying is, there might be flaws in what I say. I'm not saying everything I'm saying is perfect, but you should not disagree with what I'm saying because it's right in front of you. What's wrong with y'all? Like, is your pineal gland that calcified? Or is your feelings in a way this much? Is the devil inside of y'all this much that y'all deny the truth? Come on, man. Carpenter's fishermen, facts on facts. Let's get it. It's facts. You beat up people? No, I did. I did beat up people. I grew up in the slums. I grew up in the ghetto where you had to think, it was a dog eat dog world. You feel me? I had to live in the projects. I had to go through, I had to live amongst monsters. I had to become a monster to survive. Penitentiary rules are in the black neighborhoods. It's like prison in real time. So I had to become a monster. I've harmed a bunch of people. I'm a kid, I'm a teenager. I've been expelled twice for harming people. I had to be a bully because I'm a light-skinned dude, you feel me? I'm not the tallest guy. I'm only 6 feet. I'm not the biggest guy. I'm a skinny kid. I'm a skinny 6-foot kid. You feel me? That looked like lunch to the average dude in the ghetto. That's lunch. So I had to lock in and say, hold on, man, y'all ain't about to, that ain't going. It ain't going with me. I had to become a monster so I could survive, so people could leave me alone. It was a front. I was actually afraid. I was fearful. I was scared. But I had to put on this image and put on this big dog image so I could survive. Because guess what? It's monkeys and monsters all over the hood. I never fell for it. But I could say I was a victim of it, and my spirit definitely led me to doing destructive things that not only harmed me, but harmed people that was in my neighborhood, that harmed my family. You feel me? I did some crazy things. I was a violent kid. Yes, I was. But it took for me to go through that to learn that I was a violent kid. But I went through, you talk about a kid that went to foster care. I went through the foster care system twice. You feel me? I've been arrested too many times as a teenager. It's not a path that I've chose that I wanted to go down. I just had to do it. Why? Because I thought I had to. I'm a young kid. I didn't have the best guidance and the best structure growing up. My father was a gangster. So, of course, I didn't have that. I didn't have the best guidance. I didn't have big homies that was telling me the right things. I had crazy niggas telling me what to do. And I barely listened to them. So I took it on my own. I did it my way. And I'm grateful, and I don't have no regrets. I've changed my ways. I'm grown. I'm too old for that. I'm a grown man now. I don't have to be that way anymore. And I knew this since I was a kid. I always told myself I can't wait till I turn 18 so I ain't got to worry about walking down the street getting jumped. Cause that's how it is when you in the ghetto, and you look a certain way. You can't walk in certain neighborhoods in Cleveland, Ohio. Yes, you can't walk in certain neighborhoods. You can't walk in black neighborhoods as a young black man because niggas will jump you. They will beat your ass. I've been almost jumped twice, but always ran. You feel me? You can call me a sucker, whatever. I ran. I wasn't about to get jumped. I'm not about to. I was too scared to lose my teeth. So you talking to somebody I lived in the trenches. I went through that. You feel me? So all of this, you wrong, you're wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I know exactly what's going on. I'm talking about these inner city black people. I'm talking about the working class blacks. These niggas is crazy, bruh. And all I'm doing is telling you how crazy they are. But I don't care, because what you can't do is call me a liar. I know what's going on. And I'm telling you that black Americans didn't have to go through this. They didn't have to worry about getting jumped walking down the street. What are you talking about? These kids gotta face this every single day. Y'all don't live amongst these kids. Y'all don't know what these kids go through, what these young women go through, the sexual assault our young babies get. Y'all don't know how many black kids get raped. Y'all don't know how many black women and little girls are getting sexually assaulted on a daily basis by family members. What are you talking about? That's another thing these black Americans didn't have to go through at the clip that they're going through now. But I'm the crazy one. No, I'm just the one calling it out. Everybody in this chat know exactly what I'm talking about. If you a black American, you was born and raised in the city, you was born and raised in the ghetto, you know that most girls are sexually assaulted, you know that the boys are being abused and beat up by other boys in the hood. Nobody's calling me a liar on that. All I'm doing is calling it out. But I'm the Uncle Tom. Come on, bro. Y'all ain't serious. Y'all lying to yourselves. But I'm tripping. Come on now. Yes, Jim Crow. Black people were better under Jim Crow. I say it again. Black people were better under Jim Crow. Why is that? Because they didn't have to go through the stuff we go through now. We didn't have to go through this. You don't understand the dangers that we have to go through. I had a family member lose family member. She's in a whole nother state, and her baby boy who lives with another family left the house. She left her baby boy and moved to another state. And this baby boy was found walking in the street with no clothes on. This is a few weeks ago. This is what I'm talking about. The lack of structure, the chaos. But I'm tripping. Come on, man. Y'all really tweaking. I can't hate myself. If I hated myself, I wouldn't be on here telling y'all this. I love myself. That's why I'm telling you this. Spiritual fake outrage. Fake sounds fake. Come on, man. Y'all got to pick up a book, or y'all got to go talk to people. Y'all been on the internet too much. Y'all been interneting too much. It's crazy. Become the monster to defeat the monster. It's crazy that's the psychology of the teenage boy. Well, let me lock in and be the bully. People been bullying me too long. I've been a skinny, light-skinned kid my whole life. You feel me? That's lunch, bruh. People come after you. I'm a handsome fella too. You feel me? I'm not no ugly dude. So you really a target. People really gonna jump on you. Oh man, he handsome. Now they hating on you. But I was a little dirty little kid. You know what I'm saying? Not like filthy, but man, in the eighth grade, at the age of 13 years old, 12, 13 years old, I had to wear the same shirt to school. The same exact shirt to school for like 4 or 5 months. My nickname was Same Shirt. They called me Same Shirt. A.G. Bell, Alexander Graham Bell, middle school. In the 8th grade, I had to wear the same shirt to school. You want to talk about trenches, bruh? That's trenches, bruh. That's the mud. It's not a crazy underprivileged. It's not that bad. At least I could go to school. At least I was learning. That was a good thing. But imagine you had to go to the same school. You had to go to school every day and had to wear the same shirt to school, bruh. No laundry. I couldn't even wash my shirt, bruh. But this is the time where I'm living with a single mother. My mother was a single mother at this time. You feel me? Because she's separated from because my parents split. Come on. This is stuff that these black kids have to go through. But I'm on here tripping. You're tweaking. The only regret you have, your skin isn't lighter. Oh my God. Whatever. Just sub. MLK Wesley, appreciate you, brother. Christ is king, brother. Christ is king. Taylor Grenier, for everyone here, God is real. What he is talking about is repenting. Accepting Jesus changes us within the Holy Spirit. Wherever you are in life right now, seek him with all your heart. Right there, Taylor. 100%. It's what got me into shape. You feel me? It's what got me. It locked me in. It put me in a place where I had to humble myself. You feel me? And it put me in a place of peace, because I've always my whole life thought I had to do. I was by myself. I had to handle my own issues. And that puts a lot of pressure on a person that grew up in the conditions that I grew up in. You like, damn, there's nobody coming to save me. There's nobody coming to help me. I'm out here by myself. I got to go through this alone. Man, when you find out you don't have to go through it alone, you can go through anything, everything with a smile on your face. Come on. Okay, that's cool and all, but what are we going to do about these YNs? We got to turn them towards the Father, man. We got to get these YNs in these churches. We got to tell them the word. We got to put the gospel on them. We got to make the gospel a trend. We got to make it popular for them so they can turn to it. I've seen it happen. You feel me? I'm a media guy in Northeast Ohio. You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids seen my transformation into Christ. And I've seen a wave of young kids turning to Christ. I'm telling you, put these kids on, they'll learn. They listen. They're watching. But what they're doing, excuse me, is they're watching foolishness. They're watching clowns. And these clowns are influencing them to do clown stuff. So now they're being crooks. Now they're walking around with masks on and tattoos on their face. A+ handyman services. What do you think about Charleston White? I think he's very funny, and I think he's one of the people he's a very honest person. He calls it like he sees it. Real honest guy. Nation of Islam has his same outfit. The red and black is about strength. This blue right here, brother. This that red, white, and blue. You hear me? God, Emperor, Ether. No, you speaking facts. Appreciate that, brother. I love a compliant Negro like yourself. Let me scroll down, man. I'm all the way at the top, bro. I'm all the way at the top. If I miss your comment, I appreciate it. I apologize. But dang, I had to, you know what I'm saying, turn up real quick, man, because, you know what I'm saying, when I get on this subject, you feel me? I gotta tee up a little bit, because, you know what I'm saying, this subject means a lot to me. I put myself back in a position to where I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? You say, yeah, people are laughing at you. What are you talking? You care about that stuff. I don't care about that stuff, man. I care about the truth. You feel me? I don't care about what people say or what people think. I'm on here to plant a seed into your pecan brain that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. And until you turn to him, which I know you don't, or which I know you're not there, because only Christians could really understand where I'm coming from. Because Jesus is the answer. And these kids, these women, the black Americans at a extremely large rate does not follow the word and does not know the truth. We can see it by the voting. The way we vote, you can tell. No person in a right mind will vote for somebody that's pro-abortion. No person in a right mind will vote for some children to become mutilated. But it's been so much BET infiltrating our minds that we just ignoring all of the sinful nature and the deadly sins that the the Democratic Party, and all these liberals come with. Alan Munoz, what books or studies even back up this statement? Because allegories don't mean much. Interracial marriages and relationships were outlawed and lynchings were at an all-time high. Bruh, what are you talking about? You don't need literature to understand this. You need the Bible to understand this. Were people being lynched? Bruh, people being lynched now in America. That happens. Black people are getting killed now. It's random. It happens randomly, but it happens by other people. That's the thing now. But it's not at the hands of them of their own people like it was back in the day. Blacks didn't kill each other like it was back in the day. Quit pointing out all of these other things that's not even an issue. Out of 100 problems, out of the top 100 problems that black people have, police brutality, lynchings, even back then, is not even on the top 20. So shut up if you're not even a black American talking about lynchings and interracial marriages. The black man couldn't marry white women, so his life was harder. What are you talking about? That's stupid. That's goofy. Well they didn't let the blacks marry other people. What the difference do it make? What is that? Like that's nonsense. Think with your head, brother. Out of all of the black issues, you think interracial marriages is a problem? You think lynchings were a problem? That's not even close to that. Yeah, it happened and it's sad. It's a bad thing. Nobody should be lynched. But it was not so common that it was an actual issue that people had to lock in on. It was I don't care if it was 50 lynchings a year. That still don't compare to little girls being abused, little boys being abused. Look at our kids. Look at what the LGBT community is influencing and making our children do. I'm at these black schools all of the time. I see these kids. They're sixth graders dressing like girls. What are you talking about? You talking about some lynchings. Cut it out. Let's go. I've been here many times before this time. I'm really passing away. You going to the afterlife? You going upstairs? You going to the upper room? That's good, brother. Let's go. I'm going to scroll up. Looks like you support a cult over Christ. That's what you think, Carpe Diem. But I don't. No one is the color black. No, it isn't. More and more waking up. Yes, it is, Dustin. Yes, it is. Them blacks ain't going to listen. It's hard for them to listen because their feelings are in it and they're being hurt. Their hearts are being attacked, so they're mad. Their demon is getting hit. I want you to feel me. I want you to hear me, Satan. The blacks are in chaos right now, and only Jesus can save them. Jesus saves. But black people have turned away from the Lord so bad that they like living in sin. Like they have pride in their sin. It's terrible. It's horrible. It's bad. I hate seeing it. I'm here to tell you, black man, your mother was wrong. My mother was wrong about what? Bro, it's the same in all culture, just looks different. Regardless, they hijacking all of the fertile ground. Parabolic curvature. The first forms of writing came about 2,000 years before anyone started writing the Bible. If the Judeo-Christian God was the one true God, why don't we see his word before then? Sir, there's no Judeo-Christian nothing. There's no such thing as Judeo-Christian. Judaism and Christianity are polar opposites. It's not the same. Judaism today is a anti-Christian thing. It's not so much. Yeah, they follow the Torah, but we're under a new covenant that they do not follow. And the new covenant happened when Jesus died. So Judaism and Christianity, it doesn't align at all. Yeah, the Old Testament keep it relevant, but it's not the same. So that part right there is just off. There is no Judeo-Christian God. There's only one God, the one true God. And God is Jesus Christ. You don't even know the definition of sin according to the Bible. Be quiet. Jesus had hair of wool and skin of copper. Look at every one of his depictions in white America. You're wrong, brother. Jesus did have hair like wool. It didn't say skin of copper, though. Jesus' description was never Jesus' description was never described in the Bible when he was on earth. What you're referring to is Jesus' hair like wool was in Revelations, and it was talking about John having a vision of Jesus in heaven, not what he looked like on earth. The Bible never described what Jesus' physical appearance looked like on earth. The only thing it said about his physical appearance on earth was that he was a humble guy. He didn't look special. He just looked like an average guy. That's the only thing it ever said. The Bible does not describe Jesus' physical description. The real Mr. Neil, I think you saw my earlier messages about moderating for you. I'm happy to help if you're up for it. Your chat is pretty wild, bro. Bruh, I'm down for freedom of speech. I mean, Mr. The real Mr. Neil, I appreciate that, bro. I love for you to do that, but I don't care about what these people saying. Like this stuff doesn't bother me. Like these people don't know me. I don't. These people don't know me from a can of paint. And their comments doesn't bother me because it's just words and people on the internet. I've been through enough to not care about what people say. Only thing is, it is kind of like I want to get into the real comments. I do want to respond to people that want to dialogue and have an actual exchange when talking about something based on the subject. But yeah, there's a lot of silliness in here, and it's a bunch of people complaining, whatever. But yeah. I'll definitely love to do that. Appreciate that, brother. I'm a lock you in. Right here, the real Mr. Neil. Because old black people don't say that. You don't need the Bible. You need human rights. The Age of Enlightenment, 1789. Jeff, no, you don't. You need the Bible. We all need the Bible. The Bible is literature. The Bible is the truth. He's mad at the world. No, I love the world. I just need Black Americans to love the world again. I need Black Americans to appreciate the world again. I need the Black Americans to appreciate their country again. I need Black Americans to love their country again. I need Black Americans to know that America is great. But Black Americans, not all, but most of them, don't believe America is great. Black Americans look at America, and when I say Black Americans, I'm talking about the descendants of slaves. They look at America like America is a bad thing and that it's wrong and that it sucks to be here and that they're oppressed, when it's not like that at all. You're the most privileged person of African descent in the entire globe, in the entire world. In the world, there's running water in your sink. You can hit 3 numbers on your phone. The police will pull up and help your black ass. You can hit 3 numbers on the phone. The fireman will come help you. The ambulance will come pick you up. You can have you got hospitals here, schools here. You have access to religion. You have freedom of religion, freedom of the press. The Bill of Rights is the best thing that could have happened to you. The right to bear arms. I'm from Ohio. We used to have to have a license to carry. We don't even have that anymore. I could walk around with an AR-15 if I wanted to. No other country is like this. None. It's not like this anywhere. Our electricity is sweet. Our water is sweet. We got clean streets. Not if you live in East Cleveland, that's pretty bad. But we have streets. We have the best country there is when it comes to honest and good living. You guys are so privileged. We're in this time where the men have become so weak that they're just complaining about everything and they're not appreciative of what they have in front of them. They're blocking their blessings because they're not paying attention to what's real and the love that's in front of them. They don't see the love that's in front of them. And I used to be like that too. I used to mock God. I used to mock Jesus too. I used to burn the flag. I used to step on the flag too. But that's when I was in my hell, when I couldn't see the blessings that was in front of me. And it wasn't until I seen the love and the blessings that was in front of me, like the Black Americans seen under Jim Crow. They knew what was good. They seen the darkness. They know the stories of what their grandparents had to go through. Imagine if your grandfather told you he was a slave on a plantation. And then you end up with a business and you end up with your own airstrip and you end up with your own business in the neighborhood where it's thriving at. How dare you complain about your circumstances? How dare you complain about your circumstances? Come on, bro. It's foolishness to complain about being in America. Like, being an American is a beautiful thing. But Black Americans don't know that. because they weren't taught that America is beautiful. They were taught that America is the enemy. But let them go live in Africa where they're killing Christians at. They couldn't handle it. We know those stories about the people that moved from America to Africa. They want to come back. Cap, his skin is like bronze, brass. This has to be pre-recorded. Oh, no, 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 no. We live, Brian Kelly. We are live. Jesus has feet as bronze. I think the Bible said in Revelation. His feet was like fine brass, burned, like it was burned in the furnace, is what it said. But it was not describing Jesus Christ on earth. It was describing John seeing a vision of Jesus in heaven, where his eyes was a flame of fire and his hair was white, and his hair was white as snow, and it said his head and his hair was white as snow, and his hair was white like wool, or his hair is like wool, and his feet was burned fine brass, like it was burned in a furnace. But that's just describing him in heaven, not on earth. Voting for political office has nothing to do with a person's religion. Jesus helped this guy, he is done. What are you talking about? Voting for political office has nothing to do with a person's religion. Yes, it does. Yes, it will influence your vote. Yes, it will. You don't know that. You don't know conservatives are more religious people, actual mature religious people, not lukewarm Christians. Lukewarm Christians will vote for Democrats because lukewarm Christians don't stand on the principles. Lukewarm Christians, what they do is they pick and choose what they want to follow in the Bible and say Jesus is king. But that's fake. We conservatives don't. I'm not saying all conservatives. I'm saying more conservatives than more liberals stand on being a mature Christian, no matter if we like it or not. Of course we don't want to. Yeah, if I end up sleeping with this girl and she end up getting pregnant and I don't want to have a baby with her, naturally I'm like, damn, I wouldn't want to have a baby with her. I'm married. I have kids. Like, I do not want this to happen. But a mature Christian is going to be like, that's wrong. And it doesn't matter if I like it or not. I got to stand up and do the right thing. That's why when you're a conservative, or you end up being more religious and you end up voting for the more righteous candidate versus the liberal that doesn't vote if the candidate is righteous or not. They vote for their own personal privileges that they get out of voting for whatever individual. For instance, if I want to be a whore my whole life, if I want to just sleep with men as a woman, right, I'm going to vote for the person that's standing on, yeah, let's make abortion go 40 weeks. I can always get it. So yeah, voting for political office does have something to do with religion. If you're a religious person, more religious people are more related to each other more than secular people. Muslims and Christians are more related to each other than a secular person that only follow his own beliefs. Your beliefs change when you don't stand on religious principles. You're not standing on anything firm. You're changing because growth with growing up, you change. You change around, you change your perspective, you change your stances all throughout life. But your foundation when you're a religious person, when you're a Christian, that doesn't change. It's going to be thou shalt not kill your whole entire life. It's going to be thou shalt honor your parents your entire life. It's going to be thou shalt not steal your entire life. But you, on the other hand, you're going to make excuses for stealing when you're secular. That's the difference. Do you think anybody on the right ever invite him to the house and not check the silverware after he leaves? Right, you sick. Let's go. The rage bait is crazy. No way. You don't want dialogue. Tech support. But I've been told you get out of here, boss. Skedaddle. John Cena? This is our new president. No, man, y'all wouldn't want me to be the president. I cooked this whole, man, y'all. I'd be killed. I'd be killed instantly if I was the. Oh man, they couldn't let me in there, but I'd be cleaning y'all niggas up. What color was the Israelites? The Israelites didn't have a color. Get out of that colorism thing. Ain't no such thing as color. They was all different colors. Nobody's the same color. I have 5 siblings. We all got the same parents. We're all different colors. None of us have the same skin color. None of us. And yes, we have the same parents. White as snow. Yes, white as snow. That's what it says in the Bible. Wear that hat in the Crip hood. Do us a favor, man. Yeah, the Crips need to be influenced that they need to get out of their sin too, because all they do is kill each other and whack each other. I know who Nipsey Hussle is. I seen what they did to him in his own neighborhood. What color was King David? Here y'all go with these colors. Black people need to live them ghettos and thrive somewhere else. Oh, leave the ghettos and thrive elsewhere. Man, black people are thriving people. It's the niggas that make black people look like they fried. She still don't want you, dog. Man, that's crazy. My wife is very happily married with this guy. You hear me? Here y'all go with these colors, man. Come on, man. Jesus ain't no color, bro. Up out of here, skedaddle. Black people need to stay married and love their family. That's it. 100%. 100%. Bro, I hope this dude doesn't like the Jews. I'll be mildly disappointed. Well, first of all, JDM, I am a Jew. You feel me? Because what makes you a Jew is your faith that Jesus is your Lord and Savior. Now, if you're talking about the people in Israel, which there are Jews there too, a lot of them, right? If you're talking about Zionism, no, I am not pro-Zionist at all. I'm actually against that whole entire ideology that they are God's chosen people. Like, God's chosen people are the people that believe that Jesus is their Lord and Savior. That's my belief. But no, I do not support Zionism. Teach knowledge, bro. You just picking what sound good. I'm not picking anything. I'm really just scrolling through the comments. It's just this many people. It's just this many comments. I can't. I'm not in here looking for some bad comments. No, I'm just reading. King David was tan, bro. He's from the Middle East. Yeah, he most likely was tan. I think most people that live in the Middle East are brown. He's not accepting them personally. It's a gift to the people to that resolute desk or the Statue of Liberty. Yes, sir. You look like my dad. It's wild. You got family in Pittsburgh? I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know if I got family in Pittsburgh, though. He got to make oil great again. Hat on. I don't get that. Bruno Motivation. I love black people. I do, too. Dustin, we take gifts all the time. Anna Marie, Jesus was a Jew. Jesus was a Jew. Self-hating Jew? Me? Nah, I love me. No. You know what I'm talking about. JDM. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You talking about I'm against people that subscribe to the Talmud though, because the people that subscribe to the Talmud, I mean, I'm about to say I'm against them, but if you're a subscriber of the Talmud and the Talmud says that Jesus is burning in a lake of fire and that his mother was a whore and that Jesus is the son of a Roman soldier, and they just say all of these blasphemous things about Jesus. Now I love you because I love everyone, but I'm definitely skeptical of your actions and your lifestyle, because I believe that people that follow the Lord, people that know that Jesus Christ is their Lord and Savior, I think those are the saved people, and I think all of us need to be there, and I just hope that the Talmud doesn't influence people to not believe that, because it's the truth. Jesus is the truth. Just a babe in faith. W, let's go. DJ, people like you give me hope for the black race. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm not black. I'm just part black. You feel me? But yeah, man, we need more, because a lot of people don't really look like me that talk like this, unfortunately. But we used to. I wasn't some rare guy back in the day. You see, back when the men were men and the boys were boys, I wasn't a rare guy. Men used to talk like me. This wasn't a rare thing. You feel me? But when we turned away from God and we put those Bibles down, then we fell away. What do you think Trump is doing in the next 5 years? I don't know, honestly. I just hope, man, this war with Iran don't really, you know what I'm saying, destroy this country. I just think they built some Golden Dome, this super advanced missile system that's supposed to give us like this superb defense of missiles coming into the country. I'm very weary about why we needed it. It sounds like it's about to sounds like something's about to happen because they spent 175 billion taxpayer dollars to do it, which is, oh man, it frightens me because I do not want to go into a war with Iran, and the reason that we're in a war with Iran is disappointing because, man, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not Team America when it comes to their actions and what they're doing. It's a very sad thing that we're pretty much being like a weapon, and man, it's just pretty messed up. Like I don't like the actions of, and then Trump talked about, so, oh man, the only thing they can't do is build a nuclear missile. If they don't build a nuclear missile, and I don't like that. That's just corny. But hey, I'm Team America all day, but when it comes to their actions and what the Trump administration is doing with the military, I'm not feeling it. The Adventures of Papa Stick. Jesus flipped the Jewish table, and the Jewish had the Romans kill him. Um. That's the story. Fed. Assalamu alaikum. Alaikum salam. I think that's how you say it. Peace be unto you, brother. You don't know anything. You don't know anything? Okay. Your belief and the truth are different things. My belief is that Jesus is it ain't even my belief. I know that Jesus is our Lord and Savior. Still got that cool cap. What's a cool cap? You should take that hat off. Why? It just says make America great again. I want my country to be great again. That's it. Great just means above average. We're pretty average or below average. I just want us to be like top tier again, you know? Go Browns. I'm from Cleveland also. Let's go. I hope they, you know what I'm saying, do their thing this year for sure. The Adventures of Papa Stick. Kanye was right. Kanye was right about what? Chuck and Steele. People should be proud to be to be American. 100%, man. If you're American, you should definitely be proud of being an American. It's the greatest country in the world. Like I don't get the hate for America, man. It's pretty sad that people can have all of these privileges and say they hate America. Like, but this is the thing. Like, people didn't go through this back in the day. You should be under Jim Crow, like I'm talking about, when blacks were stronger. They wasn't complaining about America. They were grateful for America. They wasn't talking about how bad it was. They were grateful about how sweet it was. Anna Marie, I hear there's a huge population of Muslims in Cleveland, Ohio. Is that true? Very true. That's very true. Foxhound, doesn't matter what Jesus was born as. It was our God in the living flesh and that sacrificed himself for redemption. Right there. There you go. Low Lumbus, the Browns suck. Chill out, boy. We'll be in here working. JDM, yes, sir. Parabolic curvature. Dude said there is no Judeo-Christian God. You heard it here first. He doesn't believe in God. For reference, the Muslim, Christian, and Jewish religions behold the same God with different views. No, yeah, you're right. What we think of when we think of God, the Muslim, the Christian, the person that live with Judaism, yeah, the God is the creator, 100%. But you said there's a Judeo-Christian God. Judaism and our God and Christians' God are only different because we believe that Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. They don't. That's when I said that there is no such thing as a Judeo-Christian God. If Jesus was a Jew, does that mean God is a Jew? No, Jesus is a Jew on God put himself in a Jew's body on earth. Put it that way. Hungarian population is huge in Cleveland. Johnny, yes it is. You understood my question. Christ is king. Amen, brother. JDM, 100%. Christ is king, 100%. Chuck and Steele, God and Allah are not the same. No, they aren't. Joshua Capello, keep praying for America in Jesus' name. Amen. Yes, I will. The Talmud doesn't even mention or about Jesus. Pull up the Talmud text and read the passage where it says that. Rochester. You might be right, but according to everything I've read, Jesus is definitely mentioned in the Talmud. I believe the Talmud was made 400 to 600 years after the crucifixion of the Christ. I think I'm right about that, but I'm not gonna say I'm 100% correct on that. The Jews who are now coming home to Israel were scattered across the world, and naturally they intermarry. That's true. Uh, Uncle Tom, me, whatever. Trump cosplay goes crazy, huh? This the Trump cosplay? Dang, that's what I'm looking like. Okay. Oh, with the flag too. Oh yeah, this definitely, you feel me? This hockey a Trump suit, so I definitely look like a Trump supporter. But no, I'm a patriot, man. Part black, 100% American. You hear me? Let's go, Dustin. You know what's going on. Wow, can't believe you just said that. What I say? What I say? The shackles are strong on this brother. Man, I'm free. It's what I'm telling you. I'm free. And guess what? The black Americans under Jim Crow were free also. You feel me? They didn't have to go through this. They didn't have to go through being persecuted for loving their country. They didn't go through persecution for appreciating where they was, and they appreciated the blessings that was in front of them, prioritizing their families, prioritizing the children, focused on building, men working hard, women nurturing, taking care of the babies, taking care of the children, not aborting the children, not sexually assaulting the women. What are we talking about? So why you talking about the shackles are strong on this brother? No, my foundation is strong. I'm strong because I'm standing on biblical principles. You're not. So you don't understand where I'm coming from. Amanda Brown. Johnny Sacco, what about the white race? Why separate? Why do black people always have to talk about being black? Quit already. Yeah, race needs to go away, right? But when I'm speaking about black, I'm talking about the descendants of slaves, because there's a common theme of what happened from the people, because there is a difference. You feel me? Europeans and Africans, they have totally different lifestyles, and it's different DNA based on lifestyle. They lived two totally different lives for hundreds of years. Europeans had to strategize. Europeans had to make fires. Europeans had to build shelters. Africans, for the most part, didn't have to do that. Europeans, to eat food, they had to plan out for an entire year. They had to be strategic in what they were doing. They had to be more versed in things. They had to speak differently. You feel me? They had to be more direct. With the African man, the lifestyles weren't really like that, because you had to, well, not you, but Europeans had to, and you know I'm saying, part European, but Europeans had to strategize to eat. The African man, he didn't have to do so much strategy. And I'm not saying he's lazy, but it just wasn't that much hard work. Whenever he got hungry, you know what I'm saying? He found a tree, picked the apple, and ate the apple. You know what I'm saying? He found an animal, he found the goat, killed the goat, ate the goat. Or any kind of animal. You know what I'm saying? It was just easier for him to eat. It was easier for him to survive. You feel me? The European, he had to find an animal to not only kill to eat, kill for a coat to stay warm. The African man didn't have to do that. It's warm outside. He didn't have to build these crazy structures and these crazy barriers to protect himself from animals like that. It wasn't like that with the African man. So the African man, his DNA is different. The European, his DNA is different. The European is more strategic with how he lives his life, based on centuries and centuries of the way they conducted their lives. You feel me? So you talking about the African, it really wasn't much of a hustle. It wasn't a struggle. There was abundance everywhere. They was cool. Now until they was getting enslaved by each other, and they had to worry about stuff like that. For the most part, the African didn't have to do so much. So it does make us different, right? It does, not even saying us, but it does make the two different. Like I'm more African than I'm European for sure. So I would share more of that African DNA, and I would share more of that culture, that at peace culture. And when I'm saying when I mean at peace, is that when an African doesn't have to do so much, he is a little more, you know what I'm saying, at peace. Like as far as like he's not as anxious. He's not as anxious to eat. He's not scared about the future that much. This is why I think color people time is real. Like, because it's like when I get to it, when I get to it, I figure it out when I get there. I cross that bridge when I get to it. You know what I'm saying? I think that happens within the African DNA. With the European, is different. You know what I'm saying? They had to be more strategic. You had to lock in. If you wanted to eat and feed your family, you had to not only build shelter for your grain so you can keep your food safe. You know what I'm saying? You had to do that for your family too. So you had to do that. Not only did you have to build structure to keep the food safe, you had to get people and help and use other people to build more structure. Then you had those people had to have shelter, and then those people had to feed their families. Like I said, it was just a way. There's the difference between the so-called races, but it's not the race. It's the culture of the people. It's not what the color looks like. It's the culture of who they are. It's not what they physically look like. It's what they've gone through. The cultures is what makes them different. So it's not about saying black or white or black. It's just the different cultures. So I point out the descendants of slaves based on that, based on the different cultures that we had to go through. Europeans didn't have to go through what the African man had to go through within the Americas. The Europeans didn't have to go through slavery in the Americas. So the DNA and the cultures are going to be different, 100%. You talking about 300 to 400 years. That's a long time, and that's gonna build some kind of behavior within a people. It's gonna be different throughout the country. Yeah, the slaves from Mississippi is gonna be a little bit different than the slaves from Georgia. But at the end of the day, they face similar circumstances, so their circumstances is gonna make them more relative to each other, which is gonna give them similar cultures versus the European that didn't have to go through that. So it's not about color with me; it's just about cultures. How can we change our black men to be better? Our black men to be better? Low Lumbus. Uh, I tell you this all the time. It's the Bible. The Bible is gonna do it. How do we fix the nuclear family? We got to prioritize the nuclear family first. You see, me personally, I grew up in a part-time nuclear family, right? But what I seen when I was a kid, that my household was better when my parents were together. And when we were all in one home and my parents were together, the household was a lot more decent, a lot more decent. And I was able to see the difference because when I go to school, I'm seeing a bunch of kids that live in single parent households. And those kids was, I ain't gonna fake, they was a lot more fried. But when my parents split, I became a teenager. My dad, I didn't live with my father up until I turned 16, 17 years old. But by that time I moved with my dad, I was already expelled twice because I was living with my mother, and my mother didn't provide this guidance on how to be a man at the time and in a timely manner for a young man like me growing up in conditions like that, right? So I was able to see the difference between a single parent household. I lived both lifestyles. I lived the single parent household and I lived the nuclear family household. So I knew when I grew up, I'm like, when I get older, I'm gonna marry a woman and have children, and we're gonna stay together by any means. And I live that lifestyle now. I have a nuclear family right now, and I have family members that don't. And our families look, it's black and white, and it's although of course my family is not perfect at all. There's destruction, and I mean, yeah, I lived a very, you know what I'm saying, me and my wife, we used to both work. My wife wasn't a stay-at-home wife until my second daughter was born 4 or 5 years ago. And so it made us, you know what I'm saying, it was a struggle within that. But it's not about even having a nuclear family. It's about following the traditional lifestyles of a male and a male and a female, a man and a woman. The man has to fulfill his role and the woman has to fulfill her role. What fixes the nuclear family is appreciating a lifestyle that where the man is being the provider and the protector, and the woman is being the nurturer and the teacher of the home, and she's being the leader of the home. Not the leader of the home, but she's being the supervisor of the home, and the man is being the leader of the family. And if we appreciate that, man, we'll be on point. But we have to return to the Father first before we appreciate that, because our values would have to align with the Christian values or the Judaism values or Muslim, because they all do it. We all do the same thing. pretty much. Traditionally, it's like that. But we have to value that, though. We have to prioritize. We only gonna prioritize it if we see the value in it. If you don't see the value in a two-parent household, you're not gonna do it. It's not. You're not gonna care about it if you don't see it. And I think you can only see it if you really live it. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Most people that live in single-parent households come from single-parent households. Most people. So you'd have to appreciate the two-parent household. And I don't think you can really appreciate the two-parent household unless you were there. So you'd have to be trained, tutored. You have to be influenced by it and then prioritize it after the influence. But I think the Bible is the fastest way to appreciating the nuclear family, 100%. But the nuclear family will fix a lot of our issues in America, especially especially the black Americans, especially the black Americans. I wonder if they wore Abraham Lincoln merch back in the day. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, man. You know what I'm saying? He probably would be wearing. He might be wearing a little MAGA hat. You hear me? That hat makes your head and brain look small. uh, I like how you get to decide how black Americans saw America back in the day. I'm speaking on the actions of the black Americans, because guess what? The actions of the black Americans today, it looks like the way they view it. You feel me? You become what you hate. You know what I'm saying? When you hate something or somebody, you become them. But what you hate is how you view them. And then you become that. So a lot of black Americans, they hate America because they think America is these evil people. What happens when you do that? You kind of become evil. The black Americans back in the day, the only reason I knew they appreciated America is because they prioritized what they had and they seen the blessings in what they had, and they locked in and built. They locked in and protected. They provided for their communities and their neighborhoods. This is why I knew how they synced America back in the day. So yeah, 100%. I'm not silly either. Lieutenant Aldo Rain, like to subscribe. Aldo, man, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you so much. God bless. Dustin M. The Bible has most of the answers you need in life. Read the books, live the words. Right there, Dustin. Right there. It's literally the answers. My grandfather told me this. He said the Bible is an acronym. It stands for basic instructions before leaving Earth. And he told me that when I was a teenager, and I was like, what are you talking about? But he was 100% on point. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Basic, man. When you tap into it's common sense. The world is so simple. This is not a complex world. We make it complex. It's not hard to understand. This world is very, very, very simple. God is not a confusing God. He's not complicated at all. There's a bunch of, I look at it like this. There's a bunch of pixels in our eyes, right? If you got a million pixels, most people got a million pixels up, so it looks complicated. Let's bring these 1,000 pixels down, or a million pixels down to 1,000. Break the 1,000 pixels down to 100. Break that 100 down to 10, and look at it as one pixel. Life is one big pixel. It's really simple. It's really simple. We just have to figure out how simple it is, and the Bible will guide you to that. I'm still learning. I'm a new Christian. I ain't been a Christian for 4 years now. I'm still learning, right? I don't know everything, but what I do know is that when I became a Christian, I realized how simple life was, because the gospel the gospel taught me that. The gospel teaches you that 100%. And so once you're saved, you get it, you get it. You understand. Oh, that's what it is, right? It's really that simple, guys. I'm telling you. JDM Tech, we need to prioritize it as we do for the women to be boss babies. Boss babes. We need heavy propaganda to support the comeback to a two-parent household. JDM, right there, man. I think we need influence. I think we need to influence the people to have two-parent households. The propaganda is so strong on this women empowerment thing. Like, it's killing us, man. It really is. Scroll down, my bad. I'm all the way at the top with this. You got Confederate flags flying on your pickup truck along with your Trump flags. Nah, I'm not a fan of the Confederacy. I'm a Republican. I'm not really. I wouldn't call myself a Republican, but I'm a Republican. So no, Republicans do not support the Confederate flag. I know they lied to y'all and told y'all that. I know y'all think that the conservatives are with the Confederacy, but nah, that's the Democrats, them the liberals. That's them. They did that. We're with the Union. You feel me? The Republicans is the party that is the one that freed the slaves. So that doesn't really make sense. Why would a Republican have a Confederate flag on his car? That's backwards. That's ass backwards. That's like a black man and a KKK party. Like that doesn't work. You feel me? Cause right, that's like a Jewish man with a Nazi flag. Like that's a mix. That doesn't mix. So to say a Trump or a MAGA person has a Confederate flag, that doesn't mix. The Confederacy was the Democrats. The Confederacy was the South that was fighting for slavery. The Confederacy is like the Democrats. We need slaves. Bring the immigrants in. We need slavery. We need more slavery. Cheap labor. That's the Confederacy. Keep the slaves. That's the Confederacy. The Republican Party, Abraham Lincoln, fought to free the slaves. That was the Union. We're with the Union. The Democrats are the Confederacy, not us. So you kind of need to look into that, brother. Now, people are mad at this man, have no kids, and it shows 100%. 100% Luffy or Luffy. People are upset, and it's like candy to my eyes. Let them keep going. Mazori, I mean, that's not really saying anything. They mad they can't kill their kids. Luffy, he's cooking, 100%. Let's go. Julian, go fly your pride flag. Let him fly the American flag. You hear me? I'm going to fly this thing until I die, you hear me? Because guess what? My ancestors, both of them, not just my black ancestors, my white ancestors, built this country too. And they built freedom land. And we're the most free country in the world. And I'm proud of that. You feel me? I'm proud of this. Not pride, I'm proud. I'm proud to be an American. You feel me? I ain't no faking. I ain't faking like a Jamaican. You hear me? I'm just proud of who I am, and I'm proud of where I come from. Where do all these opinions get people in life? Just chill, have fun. No need to label stuff like this. What, that blacks were stronger under Jim Crow? I'm just pointing out a message. I'm just pointing out to you how the black Americans have fallen. And when I say black Americans, I'm talking about the descendants of the slaves, have fallen to a state to where, yes, even if it was terrible under Jim Crow, it is not as bad as it is now. Right. The Confederate were conservatives. Tech support, you're off, brother. You're way off. Mazoris, and y'all here watching him. Appreciate the views. You hear me? Come on, man. They talking out their neck, not saying anything. Tampa Bay, Yavani, just got yourself a new sub and a like, buddy. Appreciate you, Tampa Bay. Love that. You obviously aren't proud joking around like this for money. I'm not getting a dime from this. A dime. I don't get paid from YouTube. I'm not monetized. This is not monetized. This is just me on here yapping my gums. You feel me? This is just on me. This is just me on here teaching. This is just on me. I'm just on here preaching. I'm on here preaching the gospel. I just want to point y'all to the gospel. I want y'all. Now the headline is a way to, you know what I'm saying, hit you in the head. Like, what is this dude talking about? How were the blacks stronger under Jim Crow? But they were. We were married. Our children were protected. Our women were more protected. Our women were more modest. Our men were stronger. They were leaders. Our men were builders. They were hard workers. We wasn't killing each other. Our pants was up. We wore belts. We wore shoes. We didn't wear slides. We weren't LGBTing it up. You feel me? We wasn't caping for women, simping for women. You feel me? We stood on principle. But the bottom line, the most important thing we did was follow the Lord. This is why we were stronger under Jim Crow. It doesn't matter what conditions you put any man under. If he put God's at the center, if he puts God at the center, and he puts Jesus at the center, oh, that man is gonna be on point under any conditions. I don't care if he's a slave. That's why the best thing the best thing that the slave got was a Bible. While people complain and cry and say, "Oh, they forced it," this is what Black Americans do. A lot of them. Oh, they forced the Bible on us, brothers, sisters. That was the greatest thing that happened. The greatest thing that happened was to the slave was them getting a Bible, was them learning the gospel. That was the greatest thing that could have happened to them. The greatest thing that could have happened to them. If that wouldn't have happened to them, there probably wouldn't be a there wouldn't be a Black Wall Street. There wouldn't be a Bronzeville. There wouldn't be an Atlanta. There wouldn't be these thriving communities. Because when you put God at the center of things, things thrive. It blossoms, becomes fruitful. When you have God in your life, you're fruitful. Abundance pulls up. You feel me? Bro, don't waste your time on the internet trolls. Spend time with your family. Man, I spent great time with my family today. That's why I always start streams late at night. My family is in bed by the time I start these things. I started at like 11 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, tonight. I can't do this during the day. You know what I'm saying? I have a wife and children. The most free country. Then you have never lived in another country to know freedom. Claudette, I'm about to call you out right here. Tell me what freedoms that we don't have that another country has. We're the only country that get to carry around guns. I need you to tell me what other country allows for people to carry around guns. That's not a thing. As privileged as you are, you don't even know this. What other country allows its citizens to just carry around weapons? I'm going to go look it up. Take time out of your day. Take about 5-10 minutes. There are countries that let their citizens have guns. 100%. 100%. Very few countries allow their citizens to have guns. But only in America can you carry around weapons. Like, what's up? What's up, baby? Well, you know what I'm saying? Because I know the origin story. I know what the founding fathers was doing. I know what they were on. Feel me? Whoo! I just did a whole 2-hour stream, right? No drink. That's crazy. Yes, you are the worst lie ever. Who, me? You're not talking to me. Nobody still told me what I lied about yet. Have I lied about anything yet? If I lied about anything, point it out. Point out the lie that I've committed. Somebody please point out a lie that I've committed tonight. Please. What have I lied about? I have not lied about anything. People already talk about the Confederacy of the Republicans. You're crazy. You don't know who Abraham Lincoln was. You don't know what Abraham Lincoln stood on. You don't know anything if you think that the Republicans would somehow be carrying around a Confederate flag. That doesn't make sense. That's backwards. Black Americans are owed justice. J for the check. My mans. Black Americans are owed justice. Brother, justice will always be served. We have a God. God is real. So if anybody ever did anything wrong to anybody, God is going to handle them. So while you're sitting here putting a black fist up here saying Black Americans are owed justice, if anybody's ever owed justice, they're going to get justice because we have a Lord. We have a God. So justice will be served. Can you pin your podcast, Warhouse Pod? Can I pin my podcast? This is my YouTube channel here. Man, look, and I'm new to YouTube. Like, today is my 31st day. Like, this is the first day in the new month. This is the 31st day. This is episode 31. I'm posting every single night. For everybody watching right now, I don't miss nights. I post every single night. I started going live last Saturday. But I'm posting every single night. I'm going live. No, I've been going live for 30 days. I just started going live on YouTube mobile. But I go live every single night and I talk to the people every single night. I'm never going to miss a night. I'm going to be on here every single day, every single night, every single night. Rain, sleet, snow, every single night. I'm going to be on here talking to the people because I care this much. You hear me? I just came in the room, but I bet it's some BS. Shucking and bucking. Cubano, let me get on you, bro. With your bean. No, I ain't gonna get on you. Dustin, bro, you know it's all respect over here, brother. First black millionaires during that time. Base got evolved. You better tell them something. You better tell them something. They think we was just moping around crying like them. You feel me? They think the black Americans back in the day was moping around crying like them. Oh my God, we oppressed. Massa ain't helping us. He ain't giving us no reparations. Massa don't like me. That's what they do. You feel me? But the black Americans back in the day didn't do that. Because they was appreciative because their fathers and grandfathers were slaves. Slaves. Imagine your grandfather telling you he was on a plantation. What would that do to your, what would that do? And then you look around and see your circumstances and you see, damn. You mean to tell me he put you in shackles every day? Yes, sir. You mean to tell me you had to eat at certain times? Yes, sir. You couldn't eat when you wanted to? No, sir. Dang. You couldn't marry you couldn't, ain't no dating? No, ain't none of that. Then you had to go outside and work every day. You couldn't get none of that. Imagine that. Imagine somebody going, they had your whole will in their hands. They made you do everything. Your grandfather telling you that he did not have power or control of his own actions for most of his life. You feel me? And then you telling me that you thought those people were moping and crying like y'all? No way. They couldn't have they couldn't. No way you can't. You can't. But this is what y'all do. And then y'all like to bring up slavery all of the time. Like slavery is hindering what you got going on right now. Look around you, smell the flowers. You're blessed. You are extremely blessed. Stop crying. Stop being a punk. Man up. Pull your pants up. And lock in. The clowns are really out here clowning today, I see. I will agree that we are actually stronger, separated. Facts. However, stop the dumb ish and take that ish off your head. Come on, man. Come on. If I'm spitting the facts, I'm just showing you that whatever you think of MAGA, you're wrong. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, right? I live around millions of people. There's not a lot of MAGA hats. Not a lot. I probably ran into 10 to 15 people with MAGA hats on. And I'm going to tell you about those 10 to 15 people. They were always good people. I always stopped to talk to them. And they were always good men. Good men that came from good families. Because I ain't saying I know them in death, but I know them from communicating with them. And I'm telling you, whatever you think of MAGA people, brother, you're wrong. Because people that want to make America great again are the people that understand how great America is and how great America can be. Because we are the freedom land. These are the people with the entrepreneurial spirit. The people that know if I pull myself up by my own bootstraps, then I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be good and I can take my family anywhere I want to go. The sky is the limit. You feel me? This is the MAGA people, right? These are the real Christians. These are the real God lovers. These are the real patriots, the mature people. So whatever you think of MAGA, I know you think it's a Trump cult, but it isn't. It's not at all. I used to think the same thing. I did too. I honestly did. But it isn't, brother. You're wrong. You're wrong. It isn't like that. This is not some, hail Trump, hail Trump. It's not a Trump thing. I have another Trump hat that I will never wear. I was wearing my Trump hat and I kept my MAGA hat on during the campaign. I wore my hat every day because I wanted to show people that it doesn't matter if you're black. You don't have to be a Democrat like everybody that lives around me. I'm from Cleveland, you feel me? That's what the black Americans around me think. They think if I'm black, I gotta do it this way. But I'm here to show people, I'm here to send a message and show you that we were bamboozled, led astray, and run amok. And that they are the very enemy that created the chains, you feel me? That tried to fight for the chains to stay on us. The Democrats. The Democrats were the ones that fought to keep us in chains. The Democrats that 90% of black people vote for. The Democrats are not 90%. So when you say this is dumb, think about what you're saying, because what you're doing is you're on the side of the people that want you in chains, and their behaviors show. Their behaviors show it all the time. They want cheap labor, and they want to build businesses and corporations sky high off cheap labor. That's the Confederacy. That's the Deep South. That's them. That's the Democrats, not us. So, with all due respect, brother, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Not all true. Higher crime rate, poverty rates higher, but you know that, what? Not true at all. I don't even know what you're talking about. Let me scroll to the bottom. Oh, my goodness, that's a lot of comments. It's not Republican or Democrat. Yes, it is. Something just hit me. Are you a bunny hopper? Nope. I'm a married man, a happily married man. And I do not commit adultery. Lame. You're a smart thinking man. God bless you. John D, appreciate that, brother. Who flies Confederate flags today in modern times? Hardly anybody. But those same people that do fly the Confederate flags are the same people that follow the Democratic values. They like to say, oh, there was this party switch. Oh, the Republicans and the Democrats, they switched. They said, hey, can we have your side and can you have our side? Like goofy, just goofiness. Foul. The parties are designed to divide. That's a great opinion, and you might be on something with that. Lufi, that's a free man, a very free man, very free. Appreciate that. Look, Wakanda Gold. There we go. Where I just say, oh, they like to switch. They like to switch. Hey, Republicans, we're the Democrats. Can we switch values? Can you hate slavery? And can we love slavery? Can we switch? Yeah, let's do it. The Republicans fought to end slavery. What are you talking about? You ever heard of Abraham Lincoln? Have you ever heard of Abraham Lincoln? He was the first Republican president. It started the Republican Party around his time. He was the first president that was a Republican. And he fought to end slavery. We still hold the same values today. Freedom values. Freedom values. The Republican Party did not exist in 1776 when they started the country. When they created the United States of America, our founding fathers, there were no Republicans. It didn't exist. The Republicans existed, and then all of a sudden, they created a movement and a union to end slavery in America. We're not the enemies. Lames. Pay attention, pick up a book and read. Read the Constitution first, and then come back to me. Goofball. Take that hat off, please. You're ignorant. MLK would be so disappointed if he was here today. MLK was a Republican. MLK, could he have been a Republican? Maybe. But MLK was, man, we're talking about, unfortunately, we're talking about blacks being stronger under Jim Crow. Blacks were stronger because they were independent. Blacks were stronger because they had their own. What MLK fought for was for integration. And I'm not saying he was wrong, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have integrated. But what I'm saying is we shouldn't have forced the integration. We shouldn't have forced it. And because of MLK's actions and approaches, uh, we lost more due to him than we gained. Unfortunately, was his intentions good? I think so. But MLK is the same person that didn't believe that the Bible was real. MLK did not believe Jesus was a real person. MLK said in his own letter, he wrote a letter in Stanford University that said that it's biologically impossible for Jesus to have been born through a virgin. This is Martin Luther King Jr.'s words. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said that the Bible was just fairy tale. He said it was just a fairy tale. You can look it up. Stanford, I believe 1948 or 1949 or 1958 or 1959. One of those. Look up his Stanford writing, him saying that the Bible was a fairy tale. And he never went back on what he said. And this same person did not preach the gospel. He didn't. He didn't say you get your freedom through your faith in Jesus Christ. He didn't say that. He never confessed that Jesus was his Lord and Savior. He didn't. So what did he do? He pushed out a different message. And he said we get our freedom when we got what the white man got. That's not biblical. You don't tell people that they're not free until they get something of this world. You're free when you connect with the Father. MLK, although he could have been a Republican, he was not a Christian at all. Unfortunately. But I'm gonna get into MLK another day. Scummy. Deep South appreciators, that's about it. And racist, but they're not common. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Let's go. Where's your family from? My family is from the Carolinas and Mississippi. My mother's family is from the South Carolinas. And my father's family is from the North Carolinas. And my mother's family is from Mississippi, Alabama also. My father's family is from North Carolina, South Carolina. I think that's how I go. But yeah, Carolinas mainly. Let's go. NGA. N-word, quit bug dancing. Dang. Where you from, my guy? A Hispanic guy calling me N-word is. Ah, man. That hurts, man. It really does. I didn't think y'all called me an N-word. Bruh, shut up. When you choose a side, you lose power. I'm not choosing a side, I'm choosing God. I'm choosing the Lord. You feel me? I'm trying to get, honestly, one of my biggest motives is to get Americans off this democratic plantation. It's sick. All Americans, not just black Americans, all Americans. The Democratic Party has to end. It has to go. It serves no one. Nothing. It doesn't. It hurts us more than it helps us. It divides us more than it connects us together. Is Abraham Lincoln the president now? Ooh, nuh-uh. Why are all the former Confederate states red now? Oh, they obviously had a change of heart. Obviously, most people grew up and they smelt the coffee. The parties got switched. The Democrats of today was the Republicans of yesterday. That's 100% false. That's not true at all. Houston, Texas, Lincoln did not fight to end slavery, dude. Man, y'all. Look it up, brother. I ain't about to sit in here and go through a whole dialogue on Lincoln. You know what? Thank you for that, Houston, Texas. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. I choose my topics every single day. I chose this topic an hour before I jumped on here. You feel me? I don't really got time. It's really hard for me to be strategic during the day. I got you. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a whole show on how the Republican Party started and how Lincoln actually did. Man, oh, no, I don't have to. I'm not going to do that. There's enough evidence out there to show you. You know what? I don't know. I kind of want to do that story. Should I have to do that? Should I do this story? Should I really expose this? Do people not know this? I thought people were familiar with this. How many of you guys didn't know that Lincoln was the president and he was the first Republican president and they fought to end slavery? That's common. That's common, right? I thought everybody knew that. Alex Guerrero, you're right. Wakanda Gold, nah, bro, do it. Alex Guerrero, you're right. Right, people need education. Right, what the heck? I thought everybody knew that. Y'all are so slow. Y'all can't even tell where I stand. If you think Lincoln says the Civil War wasn't over slavery, you're wrong. You probably picked that BS from a quote taken out of context. Man, I'm the Emancipation Proclamation. Like, am I tripping? What the heck? Ignorance and no man, people. Ignorance and no man allow people don't want to study. I don't know what it is. You said present the evidence, but the evidence is clear. The evidence is very clear. Look it up. That's common. Like that's go forget looking it up. Go read a book. Left wing, right wing, same stuff. It isn't, man. It really isn't, brother. I'm telling you, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's two different values. You know what I'm saying? It's two different mindsets. The B, bro, you so lost, just dazed and confused. Literally, what are you even trying to point out? You just admitted your origins are from Confederate states, originally Democrats. What? That's what you got from that? That's what you got from that? Did I read that right? What are you even trying to point out? You just admitted your origins are from Confederate states, originally Democrats. Huh? What is that? What does that mean? Yes, my family is very democratic. Yes, I have a democratic family. 99% of my family members are Democrats. 99. 99. 1% of my family, my mother's family and my father's family, are Democrats. Heavy Democrats. My wife's family, 99% Democrats. Yes, I'm a black American from the inner city that grew up in the working class. 90% of us are Democrats. What sense did that make? Of course, yes. Everybody's around me is a Democrat. I live amongst Democrats. I don't live around Republicans. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. Sad to see such ignorance. Yes, it is. Julian, read a book by Jeffrey Sachs. Mifo, Americans need some education for a better global perspective because most of them think the world revolves around the USA. Yeah, a lot of people do. Mitch Adams, Kamala would have been smarter with trade in China. You think so? Why you think so? I don't know, man. Trump pretty good at trading and stuff, right? Or doing deals. Ain't he like a salesman? The quote is taken out of context from a speech where he explicitly says slavery was a main issue of the Civil War. Right towards, like, to misquote Lincoln, is saying that slavery was an unimportant issue. Kamala would have been horrible. Indigenous Feminine, don't even give this man any more clout. Let his Republican fan base keep him afloat. I do not have I'm not on here talking politics. So if anybody's a Republican and they're a part of this fan base, it's not because I speak about Republican things. I don't. I never even said I was a part of any party. I never claimed to be in a party. Now my MAGA hat just means I want to make America great again. It's not because I'm a Republican. I'm a Southern person. What's wrong with the Confederacy? I'm waving the damn flag, but I'm not a racist. I'm part black, even though my skin's whiter than hell. What's wrong with the Confederacy? It's not that you're wrong. It's just you're morally off because you guys wanted cheap. Y'all wanted cheap labor, and you guys didn't want to lose the lifestyle y'all had. Y'all built a lifestyle on the backs of people. You feel me? It was against their will. And y'all had what y'all had, y'all didn't want to lose it. I get it. But hey, it was slavery, man, which was acceptable when America was doing their thing back in the 1600s. 15 and 1700s. It became unacceptable. It became unacceptable in the 1800s. That's bad on y'all. Y'all should have been able to get it out the mud with using your own hands and your own back. You should have recruited more people. But y'all wanted cheap labor, and you guys wanted y'all wanted to have a whole bunch of workers, and y'all wanted to eat off of that. And they put y'all in a bad spot. But yeah, that's what made y'all wrong. Millions of people didn't get together in a year's time and swap parties. Did that make sense? How could they swap out? Parties have ideas. They stand on certain principles. Republicans are conservative people, country lovers, people that love themselves, people that love the country and see the blessings in the country. Liberals, Democrats, they want change. They point out and focus on what's wrong with the country. How can a party switch from that? Yeah, people like him always exist and love to find out what boots taste like. Yeah, the entire GOP kicked Theodore Roosevelt out, which forced him to become a third-party candidate. Anybody would have been better on trade in China. USA, USA, the real deal, the real Mr. Neal. I subbed. I think what you're saying is important for people to hear. I nod for 6 to 7 other creators and know that I'm doing how to appeal to the algorithm. Let me help you out, bro. Oh man, you mind for 67 other creators and I know. Oh man, that's what's up. Let me screenshot you. Screenshot your name. Although I don't know how to reach out to you, what I'll do is can I make a comment on here? Can I put my own comment? Start a poll. I can't put my own comment. That's how I keep lying. A comment on one of my things. I want to send you. I'm gonna find you. I already got your stuff on here. So what I'll do is I'll reach out to you and shoot you my email. Yeah, fool, you're rambling. Can't even remember what the you said. Ouch. Jim Crow refers to segregation laws in the United States, mostly between 1960 and 1980. 1940s through 1960s. I'm going to say 1960, 1980. Whoa, I don't know about that. I will say, for continuity purposes, I do recall you saying that you are a Republican. I've definitely leaned more on the Republican side. And I definitely would call myself a Republican, but I don't know what makes you a Republican. It ain't like I signed up and went to the Republican building in my city and said, hey, I want to sign up and be a Republican. So what does that even, I've just gotten into politics, you feel me? My first time voting was in 2024. So to say I'm a Republican, what does that even mean? I don't know I haven't seen the outline of what makes you a Republican. I haven't seen what's the purpose or any of that. I know the mindsets. I'm not gonna have a great idea of how they think, but that's just me speculating. Yeah, you the 1%, brother. Hey, I like that. I likes that I'm the 1%. I appreciate that 100%. Frederick Douglass was a Republican and so was King, and Douglass said black people should stick to it. Nothing wrong with it, but Trump supporters are extreme. Man, Issa Musu 7. Sorry if I butchered your name right. No, bro, this is not the extreme people. It's not, brother. It's not. We're not extreme at all. MAGA, or you say Trump supporters. I don't know about Trump supporters. You might be. I'm talking about MAGA. If you support Trump, cool. If you wearing a MAGA hat because of Trump, cool. I ain't talking about those people. It's a difference between a Trump supporter and MAGA. Now, a lot of MAGA people are Trump supporters. We're going to support Trump because, he coined the phrase, but his agenda is an American first agenda. What MAGA is the American first people that know that we need to prioritize ourselves so we can save ourselves and help ourselves, because we notice that we do have a lot of issues because we turned away from our traditional ways. And we know if we return back to our traditional ways, we will gain our freedoms back. We will gain our country back because our people will start to understand and realize the freedoms and blessings that's right in front of us instead of looking at what's wrong. Now, what's wrong is that we're getting away from our traditional ways and we need to return back to our traditional ways. But it's hard to when you have a presidential candidate that was selected that people didn't want saying we're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. Why the heck would we want to go back? It was sweet back in the day. This country was on point. But we're not going back. It's crazy work. I needed this system for the game of the Jews. Craig, why you cooking so hard? Craig T, huh? To be a fair official Republican, you go to the office and register. Oh, yeah, I did not go to the office and register as a Republican. So if that's what it means, I'm not officially a Republican, but I did vote for the president, for the current president. I did. There was a few other candidates that I looked into before I voted for them. I voted for a Democratic. Was it an attorney? I'm trying to think. Was it the uh? There was two attorneys going against each other, and I looked into all of the candidates before I voted for them because I was like, this is my first time voting. I'm 30 years old. You feel me? I'm like, man, I'm about to take this serious. I'm gonna do my research. I'm not just gonna check somebody's name off that I'm not looking into. And I ended up voting for like two Democrats. So I'm not this whole Republican only. I'm not a Republican only guy. I'm not with none of that. I'm a person that grew up in a very secular lifestyle, very secular household. I wasn't a Christian. I used to be I used to call myself a Pan-African revolutionary. You feel me? I cried listening to Fred Hampton speak, man. I used to, follow the Black Panther Party. You know what I'm saying? I used to love Dr. Umar Johnson. You feel me? The Tariq Nasheeds. You know what I'm saying? I had long dreadlocks. I stopped cutting my hair for 4 or 5 years. I went vegan into fruitarian. So I was trying to live a sovereign lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I followed the 42 laws of Ma'at. That was my moral compass, the 42 laws of Ma'at. Because I was trying to lighten my heart up because I wanted to enter into the high frequency when I transitioned. This was my mindset. There was no Jesus. There was no God. There was none of this. This was the 42 laws. Excuse me, the 42 laws of Ma'at. I wanted my heart to be as light as a feather. And then I discovered Christ. And then I realized that I was actually following Christ, but I wasn't following him and his will completely. And because I didn't know his way or his will. And then when I learned his way or his will, I was interested and I was skeptical, like, wow, is this the truth? And then I asked for God to expose himself to me, to reveal himself to me. I wanted him to show up because I was skeptical. I said, is this real? Is this the truth? You know what I'm saying? People have been trying to force the Bible on me my whole life. Like I said, I grew up in a black family. You know what I'm saying? Black city. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is Christians. So to be fake Christians, a lot of people just lukewarm, like choose what I want to do. But for the most part, there's a bunch of people around. My parents weren't on it though, right? But when I found the Lord, and it's when he revealed himself to me, and then I understood that that Jesus was the truth. And then I locked in and got rid of the Pan-African revolutionary ways because I thought works is what got you into heaven. You feel me? I thought works is what got you into the ninth dimension. I thought what you did on earth, the works, what you physically were doing is what got you into the higher dimension, what got you to the ninth dimension. You feel me? I thought your actions created for you to have peace in the afterlife. Until I learned about Jesus, and I learned that you don't get your salvation through works. You get your salvation through faith. And although I denied it at first, it wasn't until Jesus revealed himself to me is when I knew, like, wow, okay, this is real, right? I do have faith, right? This person is real. This actually happened. Somebody actually died for my sins. And then all of the Pan-African stuff went away. Because I learned the truth, like real rap, and it saved me. It actually did. So, yeah, man, that's a little bit of my testimony, but that's a big reason why I'm standing here today. Because what I used to do, you feel me? What I used to do, I used to be on TikTok telling y'all that the white man was the devil. You feel me? That was me. I've always been an activist. I've always been a messenger. I've always been on here trying to fix people and help people. You can look at the House of War now. I'm still on that mission. It's just my mission is different. My mission It's to still help people. It's to still push people in the right direction. But now I know the truth, and the truth is the direction. Look, and this was what God was doing to me this whole time. He was preparing me for this. He was preparing me to push people in His direction. So He made me a warrior. I'm not a soldier. I'm not a soldier. I don't follow commands. I follow my own. You feel? I follow my own based on my own spirit. I follow what I believe in. I stand firm on what I believe in. Like I said, I've always been a messenger. I always wanted to help people and push people the right information. Like I said, I was a fruitarian for 5 years, telling people how to eat right. Why did I give up fruitarianism? It's when I found the Lord, and because like I said, I was trying to have the perfect peace. I was trying to do the work to enter into the high dimension. So I was trying to do everything right until I realized I was denying everything about myself. I was denying who I was. You feel me? I was denying where I came from. I was denying everything about myself that I actually liked, but I told people I didn't. I lied to myself that entire time. I was pushing for peace, and I was pushing for this great nature for myself. I was lying to myself, and I was denying everything that I was attracted to until I found the Lord, and I learned to embrace everything about myself. And once I embraced everything about myself, it's when I could appreciate who I was. Then I loved myself. I loved who I was. I ended up loving my parents again, which I hated. I hated my parents. Now I love my parents. I hated my skin. Now I love my skin. I hated my ancestors. Now I love my ancestors. I hated my country. Now I love my country. I used to be a liberal. Now I'm a conservative. I used to be a Democrat. Now I'm a Republican. You feel me? I used to be a hater. Now I'm a lover. That's the difference. That's the difference between me today and me yesterday. I used to hate yesterday. I love today. That's what Jesus does. You feel me? Come on, man. I ain't making this up. This real. This is real. You can't, like, you feel me? You can't make this up. You feel me? I had to live this. I had to live it. So you can't tell me what I'm saying is wrong, because I've been on the other side. I've been on the self-hating side. And I learned the truth, and now I love. You can't tell me God isn't real. You feel me? Because when I discovered the Lord, my house became a home. I told my wife, "Yay, it's over with. You got to come home and stay home and take care of these babies." 100 bands a year me and my wife was making. We was up straight. I said, no, we cannot live like this. We cannot live like this. I'm not living like this. I'm not. And then I locked in, and I followed my heart, but my heart was deceiving me. So I started following God, and I started following the Lord, and He led me in the right direction. And I'm saved, and I'm in better peace. I can't say perfect peace, but I'm in a way better position spiritually. So that light heart I was chasing, man, I ain't gonna fake. I actually got that. You hear me? I used to have a heavy, hot heart, man. Hella anxiety. My heart was hot all of the time. Then I found the Lord, man. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. Feel me? You can slap me in the face right now. Bro, back in the day, I been broke your neck. You feel me? I was on trash. But guess what? You slap me today. Here you go. Slap me right here now, man. You can take my tie, choke me up. You can grab my neck, take my hat. I'm going to smile and walk away. Because you're not going to get at my heart. My heart is sacred. And I know what Jesus says. If they slap you on the cheek, just give them the other cheek. You feel me? When you can stand on that, then you all right with me. You family. You feel me? Yep. Oh, say, can you see? I'm not singing, it's terrible. By the dawn's early light, we're so gathered we had. I used to, I was kneeling when Kaepernick was kneeling. Come on, bruh. When they did the Star Spangled Banner, who was standing up? I was shit. I ain't standing up for nobody. Take my hat off. You crazy. I ain't taking my hat off for this country and they enslave my people. Is you dumb? That was me 4 years ago. I'm like, nigga, I'm sitting there, everybody standing. Who's standing? You crazy. That was me. You see me now, it's over with. It's just like this. You feel me? You better chill out. Hey, you better chill. In the rockets. The bombs bursting in there. I love Francis Scott Key. Beautiful song. You feel me? That's what happens when you become a lover. That's what happens when you start to love and you stop hating. You start appreciating everything you are. And it's not about conforming. You feel me? It's about loving and appreciating and not letting Satan get to you. That's what it's all about. Brother, forgiveness is a key, crucial part of the gospel. We must forgive so we can be forgiven. 100%. Jesus saves. Jesus taught me to forgive. This is why I can fight through anything. Nothing can stop me. You can't do anything to me. I love you regardless. I will forgive you regardless. Jesus teaches you how to love. This is why I can do this stuff with a smile on my face. You can't break me because I have somebody that got me already. I don't have to swing back on you. You slap me, I don't gotta do anything. There's nothing I can do, honestly. I could do whatever. I could punch on you, I could fight back, beat you up, whatever. That's not justice because revenge doesn't belong to me. Vengeance belongs to God. God gonna get you. So you slap me, I don't gotta do nothing because I believe God gonna get you. So like if I do something, I'm gonna take away from you. Feel me? So honestly, that's it. Is it revenge if I really don't do nothing because I know God gonna get you even more if I don't do nothing? You feel me? You cannot enter heaven with hate in your heart, man, at all. And once I realized, I'm like, never. I can't hate some of my ancestors. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be like, oh, my black ancestors, I love y'all, but my white ancestors, man, no, they can rot in hell. Like, nah, I wasn't gonna do that. Whoo! Matthew 5:16. I hope you have family who loves you and get you some direction. I do have family that love me and get me some direction. I got 900 subscribers, right? This is in 30 days, right? I appreciate every single person that subscribes to the House of War because all I want to do is have a community of God-fearing, God-loving people, people that love the Lord, people that follow goodwill, people that love themselves, people that appreciate themselves and can see the blessings in their life. If you having trouble with that, I suggest you subscribe too, because I can show you, bro, it's real. I was a self-hating person, like most people are. I was a pawn too. I was an NPC. You feel me? It started with the chakras. Have me in chains. Nah, you can't put a Christian in chains. You can't enslave a Christian. You can't oppress us. You feel me? I could never be oppressed. I could never be oppressed. Ever. I'm already free. I'm already free. There's nothing you can do to me. Nothing. Nothing. You feel me? He who sings the anthem gets the holy moly ghost. Forgive your dad. 100%. Be right back. Gotta check underneath my bed for woo, yeah. Check that, brother. God or karma, whatever. White Jesus, the Roman thought you called God. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, they're the guys we love the most. Yes, indeed. Look, man, praying for all of y'all. I'm hopping off of here, man. This was a good stream, a great night. Man, I just want to let y'all know, with my faith and with this peace and how I can forgive, open my eyes to see how great the Black Americans were. when they were under Jim Crow laws. And they were only stronger because they had faith in God. They had faith that Jesus died for their sins. So they were able to thrive even after a bombing of Greenwood, even after they tore down Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921. They still rebuilt and thrived again because they stood on godly principles 100%. I just wish that, you know what I'm saying, we could return back to that and make America great again. I love y'all. I'm about to hop off of here. Let's have a great night, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Peace.